Hey, we are live with a brand new show. This is Laughing Shall We Die, our new Torchbearer game. If you don't know what Torchbearer is, it is kind of the cousin to Burning Wheel. We've done a lot of Burning Wheel games on this channel, but we're going to do Torchbearer, which is basically Burning Wheel meets original Dungeons and Dragons meets Darkest Dungeon. So we're going to be playing, Connor and David and Jared are going to be playing desperate adventurers trying to make their way in a cold, cruel world. And the setting they're going to be playing in is going to have some kind of Norse feel. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else large scale wise I need to announce about it. But the whole idea of the game is dungeon delving, but very hardcore dungeon delving. So again, like Darkest Dungeon, every action you take in the dungeon is going to have costs, and time is going to pass. And as time passes, the characters get weaker and weaker. They get conditions. They can be worn down. They're going to have to make camp and recover. Dungeon delving is a hard hobby, but hopefully the rewards will be rich, and they can make it for round 2 as they continue the cycle of going into dungeons and then getting rich, in theory at least. So we're gonna introduce our characters real quick, and then we'll jump into the adventure. Usually it suggests for beginning Torchbearer games to just jump right into the dungeon itself, though there may be one or two like preliminary things that we do based on which rumor you guys are going to chase here. So I have a list of kind of like several different rumors that could have led you to this dungeon, and you can decide which one you're interested in, what sort of stuff your characters would be compelled by. So let's figure this out here. Let's go ahead and do character introductions if you guys are ready to do that. Let's go ahead and maybe just start backwards and do, Jared, do you want to introduce us to Eldred? Who's Eldred?
He is an elf ranger.
Very nice.
Aged 69 years old.
Nice.
What else do I read?
Well, it's a female. That's something that's relevant.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think in the setting we're going to call, again, this is kind of influenced by Norse stuff, but also some like Arthurian stuff too. So there's kind of like a race of fae beings that exists in this setting. And I think the proper name for them in this like country or region are Ilvings, Ilving. So Ilvings is the name that people would know you by. But yeah, they're not very...
So is it an Ilv home instead of elf home?
Probably, yeah. Ilv home. You're a very rare sight. So people kind of know rumors about these things existing, but you walking into it, any town is going to elicit stares and gossip and all sorts of shocked gasps and whatnot. But we'll go ahead and David, who's Oscalad? Every time I say that name, I think of Aqualad.
Aqualad, yeah. He's a shark, half man. He has a trident.
And then Eldred is Lava Girl.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, he's a human. He's a Theurge, which is like a paladin, sort of. A little bit. He's 20, and he is he grew up in a nomadic caravan, right?
Cool. And then last but not least,
who's heal people?
Yeah. Who's Kagan?
So, sort of.
You're muted.
Yeah, sorry.
You get...
what are we introducing specifically, or just anything?
Race, class,
anything and everything?
Yeah. I think
any funny numbers you might have in your character description.
All right. I am playing Kagan. He is a human dreamwalker. He is 21. He always wears a mask. I think it's going to be described like the face of like it's got like an open, so it looks like a face, and it has like an open mouth to it that's and like furrowed eyebrows, kind of looks a little bit angry. And he basically wears that constantly. He also has like a cloak, and the Dreamwalker class basically is about how he can and I'm not skill wise, I'm not sure how much this comes into play at level 1, but basically he lives inside of other people's bodies, or like can experience life through other people's eyes.
Basically, yeah, you inhabit
inside
dreams.
of a dream state.
Yeah. Yeah, you inhabit dreams.
But it's
both
not
yours
just
and
dreams though.
theirs.
Like, I mean,
Sorry.
but it's not just dreams. It's also the life of that person.
Yes. I mean, you're doing it through dreams, but you're
It's a dream to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it depends on like what it depends on what like spells or things you're actually trying to do. But yeah, the idea is.
But for story purposes, that's what I learned from the elves.
Yeah, it's like walking in dreams and learning all of this stuff from other people and living their lives and all that stuff. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Very true.
Do we want to? Obviously, I'm not going to read through all my skills, but do we want to do belief, instincts?
Oh yes, actually, that's a good idea. Let's start with that. Let's do belief
stuff.
and instinct for each of you. Just to start us off. So Connor, what are Kagan's beliefs? A belief and instinct. Yeah, for Kagan.
His belief is he wants to find out how the world is going to end.
Very good.
His instinct is always use my mirror to peek into the room before entering.
Very good.
And then we want to do. We haven't decided on goal yet.
We haven't decided on goal. Yeah, I'll give you the kind of starting adventure state, and then we can choose goals and stuff. Yeah, Oscalad,
Okay.
what's your goal and instinct? Or sorry, belief and instinct.
My belief is the greatest sagas chronicle the redeeming of the lost, which basically means that nobody's too far gone.
Mm-hmm.
And never leave a wound to fester is my instinct.
Very good. Eldred.
Belief is I'll do whatever it takes to be reunited with my people, and my instinct is always look out for my own hide.
Cool. Okie dokie. So, the opportunity of a lifetime has just landed in your laps. Just a few days past, a mad wagoneer stumbled into Eska, the busy crossroads town that you guys have been frequenting. And we can figure out how you guys know each other and whatnot as we figure out like the starting state here. But this mad wagoneer stumbled into the town, raving about a blinding light in the foothills of the Sorcerer-King Mountains. So if you look at the region map here, we'll go ahead and drag everybody over there and take a look at the situation here. Big old region map that I randomly generated and then labeled. So we have Sorcerer-King Mountains over here. And there's a whole bunch of stuff on the map. If you scroll over it, a tooltip should come up to tell you its name and what it is. So Eska is right over here in the Mossville Forest. It's a busy crossroad, so it's kind of like a halfway point here between like this dilapidated port and the Forlorn Fortress over here. As a note, in terms of regional stuff, there are two. There used to be like an empire that kind of like was ruling this region, and they only pushed so far into this kind of Norse Scandinavian like territory, and right now the other side of the Sorcerer-King Mountains are kind of this kind of maybe Dutch French sort of culture that was the leftover from that empire, and then on the other side of the mountains where you guys are is the more kind of Norse stuff. But there's a whole jumble of like religious and cultural kind of syncretism that happened because of that empire that kind of came in and colonized a bunch of stuff. So that's a lot of the ruins and stuff that you find too, is like this old imperial stuff. But you guys are in Eska right now, which is right over there. Jared comes from this elf home over here. And then Connor comes from this wizard's tower over here. And then your nomad caravan is just kind of wandering around somewhere, right? But obviously doesn't have a specific place where it is all the time. And
supposed to just know where the tomb of the Sorcerer-King is.
That is where you guys are going to be going. Yeah.
Oh.
So that's where the ruin that you're going to be exploring is, right at the foothills of the Sorcerer-King Mountains over here. Just south of Eska. And so this wagoneer, right, stumbled into Eska, raving about a blinding light in the foothills of the Sorcerer-King Mountains and a gaping pit that opened in the earth, seemingly from nowhere. Shortly after his arrival, the raving man, on the brink of death from the frozen weather of the mountains, fell into a coma and hasn't woken since. Ever since, rumors in town have been flying. What could he have seen, and was there danger to the town? A few enterprising locals left to go investigate, but none have returned. With nothing to lose and the promise of riches being bandied about, 3 ambitious adventurers set out to investigate. So there are several reasons why particularly you guys would be interested in this. Like, one would just be, hey, this place is overflowing with goods, right? So the one hint that you have is it's likely a crypt, right? You know it's like some sort of tomb or crypt or whatever. Yeah, so either you guys just heard about the possibility of treasure and just headed out just based off that. It could be because of the possible secrets here, right? So the thing I wrote down is phenomena like these are known to hint at the secrets of the ancient wizard chieftains who used to rule this region. So those are the people who the empire like kicked out when they came in. But they have like a lot of ancient tombs and like Norse kind of burial mound things, right? That are scattered around. And so, Kagan, for example, might be interested in that because of the possibility of like ancient wizard secrets. There's also just the danger to the town, right? If you guys are altruistic, maybe, let's see, maybe like the leader of the town guard.
Oh, wait, I was muted. Ha! Altruism.
Maybe the leader of the town guard like talked to you guys and sent you out to go deal with any possible danger. Lastly, it's possible that you were hired to actually, well, you just tell me first. From those first 3, are any of those the obvious answer for you guys? I have a 4th option if none of those are.
What were the other ones? But I was
riches, secrets, danger to the town.
I
mean, secrets is a big one for me.
Yeah, maybe different reasons for everybody.
And money.
Yeah, I mean, I think mine is partially altruism and partially the secrets. But
yeah, so partially what I'm asking,
secrets, partially money.
Yeah, partially what I'm asking is like, based on your starting state and your characters, what is likely to have been, right? Is it likely that you guys just heard rumors and headed out, right? Or would someone have to have given you a particular mission to go there and do something? Like what is the actual state of your party? Like, do you guys know each other? We can kind of figure that out now too.
I mean, Connor and I know each other. I know that at least we set that up beforehand.
Right.
Connor woke me up.
I see how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that there's any reason I would know the 2 of you, right?
Not as of yet revealed stuff, no.
What does that mean?
What I mean is there's nothing in anybody's backstory yet to like say that, yeah, you could obviously
still add something.
Yeah. There's no reason necessarily. We can make one up.
We both just happened to walk up at the quest counter at the same time.
Right, because one option, right, might be that you guys were all hired separately by someone, right? And you're just like, hey, you 3 adventurers, go do this, right? That's something we could do as well.
I think mostly my character. I mean, the guy went into a coma after he came back and didn't didn't wake up. Right, that's what he said.
Yeah.
So I think that's. I mean, my character's instinct is not to leave a wound to fester, right, and that seems dangerous. Plus, he is sort of obligated to do stuff. I think right now that's like his.
Right, as a
that's why he's not with his caravan right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he's just kind of like, okay, well, this seems like a thing to do.
Sure.
He's sort of obligated to.
So here's a possible thing then. What if you guys have met up sometime briefly recently, right? And you guys are an adventuring party that all kind of knows each other, whether or not you've actually done anything yet. And Oscalad maybe was talked to by this town, like leader of the town guard, and was given this mission particularly because Oscalad is known for being a nice altruistic person. And you guys are coming along because, you're just part of his adventuring part, but this is kind of Oscalad's altruistic mission, and you guys are just hoping to get treasure and secrets on the way. Does that make sense?
It's to me. They should give us some other people to come with us and they can die on the road. But, it seems like a thing where they'd be like, here, take Billy and Bob and, they'll help you. And then they'll probably die. But.
Is that good with you guys, Connor and Jared?
Can I buy a horse first? Yeah, that's fine. How much does a horse cost?
That is a good
question.
Can I get
two gold?
You have 0 money. Wait, never mind. You have 2 money.
I have 2 pouches of gold, or a pouch of 2D gold.
Well, I think you probably need
to.
3D gold for. I'm thinking it's going to take your 2D gold. Okay.
I did have a thought. You said that the person that instigated this was in a coma, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I enter his dreams?
Yeah. I think anything that's going to happen, we'll do as it's already happened and there's no roll or whatever, right? We'll just say it happened, so we can start off in media res kind of. But yeah, that can be a thing, right? That makes sense, right? Like Oscalad was reached out, the town leader of the town guard reached out to Oscalad, was like talking to him about this possibility of going. Kagan went to the guy.
I know a guy.
Read his dream. Yeah, read his dreams, figured out some more about what was going on there, right? Like, and so you guys know it's a crypt, right? Like based on the stuff that you saw like from what appeared to just be a gaping pit to the Wagoneer is actually like a barrow mound. So it's like this kind of weird, like carved cylinder that goes down into the earth, and there's like an entrance on the bottom that is an actual like into a burial mound or whatever. So there may have been like stairs at some time leading down into it, but they've been like destroyed. That's what you see in this like vision. So Kagan, you're immediately like, ooh, ancient wizard chieftain stuff, lore, secrets. It's definitely going to be there. Oscalad was, hired by the town guard, and then Eldred, I think, is just wants money. But yeah, I'm gonna look I'm looking real quick to see if there's anything about a horse cost. Riding horse is an OB4 resources test. So impossible to make with your 2D of cash.
So resource.
Yeah, because you have a
aim a
resource.
little
Start with
lower.
0 resources.
Can we
because
get
you're
a
adventurous.
3-legged mule? How much does that cost?
A mule is an OB3 test.
Can I roll manipulator?
Only
could buy a
has 3
rooster.
legs.
A rooster is an OB2 resources test.
How much treasure can the rooster?
Actually, a donkey is an OB2.
Oh, okay.
You can get a
Yeah,
donkey.
but you realize you'd have to get a success on both those dice. You don't just automatically get it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fork in manipulator.
I don't think
You
that's how that
fork
works.
into
You can make a
resources.
haggler roll.
Resources.
But so you know what? I'll give it. I think I just kind of want to get started here, and you're technically supposed to make those sorts of rolls in like a town phase. I'll give it to you, Jared. If you want to spend your 2 dice, you can have a donkey. Go for it.
Yes. And
I'll be nice.
Belt.
I'll be nice to your desperate adventurers.
All right. Can the donkey come with some pouch with some sacks?
No. So you can
How
put
much
existing.
How
we
much
can put
do
our-
sacks cost?
Yeah,
Does
we can put our backpacks on the donkey, and then we won't have to take combat penalties
You know.
or carry them.
Let's see. Sacks cost are all 1 tests. So if does anyone have like 1D of treasure or whatever on their sheet? Because if you do, I'll let you spend it to just buy a sack. No? All right. Sounds good.
I don't even know where money goes on the sheet. That's how little money I have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it goes at where you can carry it is where it goes, right?
Well, but I mean, what if you just left it somewhere?
We'll just tie the treasure to it with a rope.
I think there's a spot on your character sheet for like a
That's
cache
fine.
or cache or whatever, right? Like a
I'm gonna see if any of the skills come with sacks.
Oh yeah, you can add a cache.
I don't think so.
Or a cache or whatever, right?
Okay.
In the when you add like either a sack or
I think it's
a
pronounced cash.
Yeah, but I'm getting it confused in my mind with cash dice. So
Confused with the actual, yeah. Oh, you can just add. Here, now I have 2 more small sacks. There,
Does anyone have commander? Because commander supply comes with a cart and or a wagon.
no.
No. All right. We can kind of move on from that stuff. You guys have a donkey, but little
I can't
else.
get rid of them now.
It's all right. If you leave them blank,
I can't get rid of the free.
I think they just go away if you leave them blank.
It's still there.
You just leave it for now.
Anyways. Okay.
All right. So let me read this real quick. Yes. So for a group with noble intent, or at least Oscalad, tell the leader that the leader of the town guard has quietly reached out to them for help because he fears what might be coming to threaten Eska. He gives the map of the region and sends them on their way, reminding skeptical adventurers that they are welcome to whatever they might find in the foothills. So I think he gives you this map of the region so you guys can just navigate there safely with no rolls, right? You're just there. And we can just kind of jump into it from there.
Second,
Cool
Caleb. Hunter
stuff.
comes with
Are Bob and Billy here?
Yeah, Hunter does not come with horses.
It does gear.
It makes 0 sense that you just get free horses because you have a hunter skill.
What about a bird of prey?
Maybe that might make sense.
Or a dog's.
Maybe we'll see.
I have a
depending on
pack
the
of
situation.
bloodhounds.
No.
I mean, in this game, you probably have to feed them. That probably costs
exactly.
2 gold.
I think we'll assume that any animals or weapons cannot be automatic things because you have to buy them separately. So,
Gotcha.
all right, cool. So, yes, that we're gonna. You guys don't necessarily know that this is, or I guess this probably wouldn't be the proper name for it anyway. But we'll hereby refer to this ruin as the Tomb of the Sorcerer-King. And
has a nice plaque out in front.
Indeed. So now would be a good time to write goals down, right? So example goals that I kind of wrote down here are: I will determine the source of the evil that may threaten Eska. I will discover the secrets the ruin contains. I will loot this place for all it's worth. I will impress my companions with my bravery. But also keep in mind that given that we're doing such a short session today, you won't finish the dungeon. So you probably shouldn't write it so that you have to finish the dungeon in this session to get the persona point. Because these are usually, you want them to be 1 session things. Like you could do it in this session. So something small like acquire a treasure or learn a secret is probably a good way to go. So, for you, Oscalad, maybe just like destroy an evil, right?
I was going to say finding out what caused the guy's coma, but I don't know if that's going to happen before. Seems like an end of the dungeon kind of thing.
It seems like the coma was just like he was literally about to die because he was up in the mountains for whatever reason. It seemed natural, especially after Kagan read his dreams. I think there's nothing extra that happened there. It was just
I see. Okay.
He was dying in the mountains and saw this thing and then stumbled back to town and yeah.
Okay. Can I just find out what kind of evil is here?
Sure. Yeah. Discover the type of evil that is in the tomb or whatever.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, that makes sense.
That seems. Oops. Every time I try to click off of something so it refreshes, I accidentally post it into the chat.
yeah. It happens.
The box extends out into the. Anyways.
Okay, so real quick before we jump into this further, let me just remind you how Torchbearer works, right? So I usually the cycle that's going to happen here is I will describe what's happening, right? I'll give you a description of the room, tell you any relevant details of like what's happening, and then we go into kind of like a free play phase where you guys can poke around, look around, do glance at whatever, poke at whatever, until and that's all free, right? Until we get to something where that would require a test, right? So you're like, I want to read this ancient inscription. Okay, well that's a test. You have to know the language or whatever. And at that point, we enter what's called the grind, right? So the grind is basically the tracker for, and actually I'm gonna pull this up on the map right now. I'll keep this in the turn order thing on the side here always. So we'll go ahead and type in the grind, and we'll have it add a counter every time I advance it. So if there's other things like torches and candles or whatever, like light sources that go out at a certain time, a certain amount of tests, we'll put them in the tracker here too. But every time the grind every time someone makes a test, right? The grind advances by 1, and every 4 tests, right? Every 4 times the grind advances, you guys get a condition. They're in a particular order. I'll have to grab the list. But the last, the first one is hungry and thirsty, and the last one is dead, right? So it is possible just by adventuring, right? Just by going through the grind and making tests to just drop dead because you're so tired, you can't press on any further. You've run yourself down ragged. But you're also getting angry, afraid, sick, injured before you get dead. And you have to fill up everything in terms of grind stuff before you get dead. You can get other conditions based on actions in play, right? So this is a very common thing. When you make a roll, if you fail it, I can either do what's called a twist or a condition, right? So I can say, yep, you failed, and here's another bad thing that happens, right? Here's how we fail forward into a worse thing. Or it can be, you know what? You do it, but you get a condition, right? That's usually how how failures work. So you can get conditions beyond the grind. So it can rack up really quickly, really and really dangerously if you fail a bunch of tests. But what you want to be doing during the adventuring phase here is earning what are called checks. So all of you have traits on your character sheet. And when you use them against yourself, right? When you give an enemy extra dice on a test, or give yourself minus dice based on your personality trait there getting you into trouble, right? Then you earn what's called a check. And you need at least 1 check among you 3 to start what's called the camp phase. But once you start the camp phase, then everybody can spend checks to recover from things, right? So conditions and repair armor and other stuff like that, right? And we can get there when we get there. But basically, that's the expectation that we're going to have here, right? Is I'll describe something. You guys will poke around for free until you reach something that is a test worthy. Then we make a test, and that's when the grind starts advancing. And we basically do that in a cycle, right? You deal with the ramifications of the test. Sometimes we'll enter what are called conflicts, which are more involved things besides just making 1 test. Usually it's fight with creatures, but it can be convincing creatures of things and other stuff like that, right? And then once we're finished with the results of all the rolls, then we go back to me describing what's happening, and then you guys poking around until a test needs to be made. So don't be worried about just poking around and glancing at things. It's not automatically going to advance the grind and kill you. But whenever the dice come up on the table, that's when the grind advances, except when you invoke an instinct. So for you, example, Kagan, you'll be able to look into every room before you guys enter it, right? Without advancing the grind, you'll be able to make that test for free. You'll still have to make the test, right? And succeed or fail, but it won't advance the grind, right? Yeah, that's the way it works. So you guys are standing in front of the tomb of the Sorcerer-King.
Wait, we don't have to get there?
No, so you guys just travel, right? You have a map.
I need to change my goal.
Yes. So that's why I gave you a map. So the town leader of the town guard gave Oscalad a map of the region, and when you have a map of the region, unless something has drastically changed since you were last through the region, or there's a specific obstacle that I know is in the way, you can travel for free, just without making any tests to another location on the map. So he gives you a location of like the general vicinity of around Eska, and you can make your way there for free. Because that just makes everything simpler. You guys aren't going to be fighting wolves in the wilderness before we even get to the dungeon. There'll be plenty of time for those sorts of things in the future. But I'll go ahead and read this description, and you guys can start. We'll start the delving. So the wind whips at your cloaks, and the sky is overcast, threatening snow, despite the recent storm. Before you is a gaping pit in the terrain that leads down into the darkness. But the light, reflecting off the fresh snow, clearly illuminates that this is more than just a sinkhole. Intricate carvings lie along the walls of the cylindrical descent, showing scenes from ancient tales or histories. Runes lie etched along the lip of the circle, but one nearby seems scuffed and unintelligible. No obvious safe passage down into the depths reveals itself at first glance. So as a note, it's probably getting on towards spring, like the last kind of chills of winter are happening right now, especially in the foothills. It's still very cold and very snowy, but you're on the way to spring and summer. And yeah, you guys are kind of like in the foothills here. You've reached the lip of the barrow, and you just see this big pit, and there doesn't seem to be any way down. But you guys can start figuring stuff out. What do we see? And you guys can describe this. We're kind of like in actual role playing mode too, so you guys can have conversations and figure out what you're doing. Poke around. Do whatever you would like to do.
Are there stairs?
It looks like there was a crumbled staircase here, a staircase here at one point, but it has crumbled and fell into the bottom of the pit. So no easy way. It seems obvious down, and it's deep enough that you can't just like jump.
Says you. Really jump in.
All right. You take the injured condition as you crack both of your legs. Yeah.
Did anyone bring rope?
And that's the first line we get of the game.
There you go.
I did.
Yeah, we
Kagan
see
says mask.
Yeah, we see Kagan with like a loop of rope around his torso, right?
Yep. He starts to unravel it.
And technically, Jared, as a note, you have the Dungeoneer skill, which means you actually have rope too.
Yeah.
So
I realized that just as I said it. Oh, Connor, you're also a dirty fink. You have 2D of money too.
What?
You
Or
also
were you not paying attention?
inventory.
I have 2D what?
Of resource
money.
dice.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't want to spend it.
I was like, I just rearranged my inventory anyway, so we have one large pack. Or one large sack.
And it's not on the donkey. Oh yeah,
Well,
we see the
not
donkey.
That I didn't
then.
want to spend it. I didn't want to spend it on a sack.
Right.
You could have gotten
So-
12 sacks.
What are we gonna do with the dog? Is it? So you said it was cold. Is it like snowy up here? What is the?
Yeah, it's not storming right now. But there was a storm, so there's like a bunch of fresh snow covering everything. You will probably have to find somewhere to like shelter the donkey before you go into the dungeon proper.
So you pull out your rope and like, I'm not sure the donkey's gonna be all right in the snow. We might need to find another place.
I
to put
use
them.
Pathfinder to find a good path to put them on.
Sure, that makes sense. I think it would be survivalist because you're trying to find like shelter. But yeah, we can start there.
Does that cost a grind?
It will, but this can also be a place. So if you come back up out of the dungeon, this would be a place you could camp, right? This is like the role to find a safe place, some shelter.
Okay.
So let's.
Come on, Sam. The mine is no place for a donkey. Goodbye, Bill.
Yeah. Let me look.
Wait,
up
why do I have Hunter? I don't remember taking Hunter.
I don't know. I didn't add it. All right. I'm looking up survivalist here. Okay, so making camp factors, you're trying to I guess, yeah, you're just trying, I suppose you're just trying to find, locate emergency shelter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's an OB1 survivalist test. So, should be very easy, but you can ask for forks.
I only have 2. Does anyone have a fork?
Helping dice.
No, I don't have that item.
Sorry for what?
Didn't think we needed one.
For finding a camp.
Help for survivalist would be other survivalist tests or peasant.
I have hunter. I feel like that.
Yeah, that's the actual hunting down of things of creatures. So
Yeah, we're looking for an old cave that
Torchbearer
animals used to
is
live in.
usually pretty strict about its forks. And like I can as a GM decide that it's okay, but I don't think in this instance that's gonna cut it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. What's the skill being used?
Survivalist.
Survivalist, and those, it does have specific ones that we can use, or do
you can help with it.
Offer?
If you have another idea, that's fine. But typically Torchbearer is pretty strict with.
Do you have the list of what the forks are in front of you?
It's just survivalist and peasant for survivalist. Those are the ones that I listed.
Pathfinder makes sense.
Pathfinder could make sense.
Pathfinders make and mark paths through the wilderness, so looking for another Pathfinder's route.
Okay, yeah, I'll allow you to fork her in this instance.
Okay.
Given what I know about the region.
Yeah. So at what point does a skill count as 2 instead of 1?
I don't think it ever does in this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Survivalist.
I think skills only get up to 7 total. So.
Okay. Let's see what scout does.
The dice are all usually in the medium range throughout the whole game.
Scouts are adept in spotting and tracking monsters.
Yeah, so it'd be an OB1
Okay,
and
so yeah.
it'll advance the grind by 1.
How do I add thing?
Add what? Yeah, so when you click the roll button, there should be like a whole list of things that you can.
Yeah, I found it.
Okay, I don't know why this isn't advancing it. It's annoying.
I'm going to use my instinct, so it doesn't count.
What's your instinct?
Always look out for my own hide.
No, you're trying to look out for the donkey's hide.
Looking out? Yeah.
Yeah, but if the donkey's not here, I'm gonna have to.
No. We talked about this. It's not self-interest; it's self-preservation that you have as an instinct. Jared tried to make his instinct always look out for myself, basically, in like a self-interest sort of way. Like, so whenever he wanted to do something that he wanted to do, he would just be able to do it for free.
So basically, every time.
Yeah. Yep. So there you go. You succeeded with flying colors. You find a small cave or overhang or whatever that you can tie up the donkey in, and even if it snows again, he'll be safe. So,
what was the free success for?
I don't know. He might have put in the wrong thing.
Okay, so I hit other modifiers. It said dice 1. Oh, it says okay.
Yeah.
So
don't hit other
success 1. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, sorry. I see.
He did roll 3 dice. So that's why I'm trying to figure out why there was this free success.
Yeah, so when he clicked it there's the option for dice and the options for extra successes. And he had both of them at 1 for some reason.
I see. Okay.
It automatically marks 1 success. Just automatic.
So next time, just do help or aid, and you can put in the dice there. Yeah.
Gotcha. But either way, I got a 3.
Yep. So you were good to go. And after you find that, you guys can poke around if you'd like. Kagan, you said you were taking rope off your torso, and
yep, I'm gonna.
You're just gonna, toss it down and try to hang it up. Are you doing this, or do you want Eldred to do it? Because Eldred is the one who has Dungeoneer as the actual skill.
Yeah, I'll have him do it, or her do it.
Yeah.
So Eldred.
Yeah, I see you start to tie. Like, how about I do that for you?
Can I help?
Yeah, you have Dungeoneer?
I have Laborer. I can
Laborer might. Yeah, let's
hammer.
check.
Yeah, I mean, Laborers tie ropes.
Sapper and Survivalist are the ones that it lists. Laborer is more about hauling things. I don't know if Oscalad needed to like hold the rope, that's one thing, but
He's
That's probably
holding the rope while I tie it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, as in, you know what I mean.
I have survivalist, so I can fork that in as well.
Mhm.
So what's the ob for tying a rope?
So the role here is for navigating everyone safely down to the bottom, right?
Okay.
And that is going to be, it's like every part of it, right? Tying out the rope and getting everybody safely down. So it's going to be an ob 2 dungeoneer test, and it will cost you some rope, right? You'll have to leave the rope there unless you don't have magical elven rope that you can just tug on. So
Still be there for when you come back, right?
but yeah, it will also still be there when you come back.
So is there like a reason to not use Connor's rope and just use the theoretical dungeoneer rope that I have?
Either one will be using up the rope. So if you use yours, you will not have any more dungeoneer rope, right?
It's just not more secured since it's in Connor's.
Yeah, it doesn't
inventory.
matter. Yeah, it's
Okay.
all the same. Yeah.
Gotcha. So, yeah. Sorry, what did you say the ob was?
2.
Two.
There you go. Yeah, so make
6,
sure
I
you
get to
set the
reroll it, right?
obstacle
Oh, oops. Sorry.
next time. Yeah, you're good.
Still getting used to this.
Yeah, none of you have any Artha, so you don't have any of that to roll to start off with. You have to earn it.
And whenever you pass a roll, you marked a little bubble.
Yes. So same thing, right? You're marking that pass bubble next to it, and once you get a certain amount of passes and fails on a skill, then you advance it.
I make someone else go down before me
Okay.
to test it. I'm like, it's already.
Kagan doesn't have fight, so I don't think he volunteers to go first.
No, yeah, Oscar will go.
Yeah, I'm not much for the ladies first trope.
I give it a tug, and I say, "All right, here we go." And then I'll once I know it's sturdy, I'll start climb down.
Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, you guys all reach the bottom just fine. As you're passing down, you're like looking at all of these intricate carvings lying along the walls, showing scenes from ancient tales or histories. And
do I know any of them?
You can make a test to know any of them.
Doesn't that add to the grind?
It does indeed.
Unless
you had an instinct about it, right?
No, yeah.
So
it adds to the grind, even if it's like not particularly beneficial. All right, well, that's kind of
so the way that it works is in Torchbearer is I'm not going to let you roll unless there's like cost of failure or if there's something actually meaningful to be gained, right? Otherwise, I'm just going to say yes, right?
Is it possible for me to change my instinct since we haven't really done anything yet?
So this wouldn't be like Oscalad, you being like, do I know these stories? It would be the general, hey, let's make a lore master test to decipher the carvings, and you might know some of them, but there might be other useful information you're getting just from the test itself, right?
Gotcha.
Is it too late for me to change my instinct real quick?
That's
since we haven't used it.
You haven't used it yet, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it. Yeah.
What are you making it?
Always try and find things related to my heritage. Now I can do the lore master.
But only
sure.
if it's Elvish, right?
Yeah, I mean, he can make the roll, and then it will probably determine whether or not it's Elvish.
Yeah, I mean, I have theologian, which, given that my religion is stories, I don't know if that counts, but that's the only thing I have that would work. I don't have
that might make sense. Let me just check the skill on the list here, and I'm not as familiar with it.
I also only have 2.
Elves have religion too.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, this makes sense. Yeah, you could do theologian.
I only have 2 dice in it, though. I don't think I have anything to fork into it. Like, I can't use ritualist, I assume.
No. People could help you with other things, though.
Yeah. I mean, do we care about this enough to grind it out or whatever, guys?
I mean, I can do it for free now since I changed it to elf related things.
Yeah, that's true. Eldred could just make the roll, and then you could help Eldred.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I'm fine with you forking theologian if you want to.
All right.
Connor, do you have a brain thing?
Can I fork in lore master? Because it's lore master, all right.
I think So let me.
I have a 5 lore master.
I'm trying to figure out the difference
How is that even
between.
possible?
It's a special Dreamwalker thing that you get. You can
Oh,
advance
okay.
the skill from 4 to 5. Yeah, at the beginning.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out Lore Master is Lore Master is arcane knowledge and deep mysteries, and Scholar is the like more history itself.
Okay.
I'm trying to decide which one this is actually be.
I mean,
I
if
also have
theologian counts,
So-
in this case, it probably is.
I mean, it
more
could be
What are
either,
you
right?
rolling, Eldred? What did you want to roll?
The only thing I have to roll is a lore master.
Is Lore Master. Yeah. So I think
And-
there are
and-
things you could find out with Lore Master.
And what is the thing we're rolling against?
So
Or
this will be
rolling
an
to
Ob
discover.
3. It's going to be an Ob 3 Lore Master test, and it's to decipher the carvings on the sides of the walls. Like, what do they mean? What mysteries do they hold? That sort of stuff.
Jared, I could do that as well with my belief and not
Okay.
advance the.
Yeah.
No, so
with
belief
5.
doesn't do that. Instinct will.
Oh, instinct does.
So instinct is the
Okay.
thing that gives you the free test. Working towards your belief is going to give you a fate point, though. Right.
Okay. So you should probably still make it then.
Okay. But you can still fork.
You
I could
help,
either
yeah.
fork in Scholar or Lore Master.
I don't
So
think it matters which one.
Yeah, I
Unless
think
5
either one
counts
is
as
fine.
2.
It does not.
Yeah.
Darn.
Either one's fine.
can I choose Scaled?
Yeah, I don't think you get I don't remember how that works.
Nothing.
Um,
Caleb,
You
I
do-
thought you read the rules.
I did, but there's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Let me double check that real quick. You can just make the roll with the amount of dice, and then we can figure out which one you used after the fact, Kagan. I'm looking this up
Okay.
right now, just so we don't stall. But you can just make the roll,
Yep.
Jared.
Yeah, that's
if you
fine.
Okay. I'm gonna fork in my elven lore wise.
So
And
you
then-
can't. Wises don't work the same way. So I'll real quick read that for you guys so you know what wises are about. They're different from ability, skills, and traits. They have no rating. Either you're wise about something or you're not. Wise is never tested on its own. It can be used once per test for one of 3 effects. The first one is you can do this beforehand. You advise a friend, right? You look over their shoulder, point out their mistakes, or illuminate facts of the matter previously unknown to them, and grant them +1 die. So you can help. You can help with the wise, but you can't help yourself with the wise. You can spend a fate point to reroll any single failed die on a roll related to your wise, or you can spend a persona to reroll all failed dice on a test related to your wise. Those are the 3 things you can do with it. You can help someone for free, just give it like an extra die based on your wise. You can spend a fate point to reroll something, or a persona to reroll all.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not skills in and of themselves.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so you can go ahead and make that roll. It's up 3. Hey, our first
Nopers.
failure. Okay. Let's take a look here. So I think you do it just fine. But everybody's gonna go ahead and mark the hungry and thirsty condition. So it just takes a while, right? You're all standing there like cross-referencing things and talking it through, and it just takes a long time. As a note, hungry and thirsty can be gotten rid of by just like eating and drinking stuff. I'm gonna double check whether or not I don't think that has to be done in camp. I'm gonna double check that though. Let's see the grind. Conditions.
We just go back up and sleep for the day.
All right, call it there, folks. Well, no one's
Yeah.
used a trait against themselves, so.
Wait, how does that work? Oh, okay. Yeah, I just used I'll do whatever it takes to be reunited with my people. I wasted all of our time.
No, it's a trait, not a.
Yeah, you have to use a trait against yourself, and it's actually like a mechanical thing that has to happen. So you had to have given yourself a minus dice on that.
Oh, okay.
All right, hungry and thirsty. Let's see. They can alleviate by eating and drinking during the adventure phase, so long as they have a few moments of relative peace. They can eat rations or drink water or wine to instantly recover from the condition without a test. So, yeah, you can do that without doing it in camp. So if you want to, you guys can do that. Keep in mind, for those of you who have wine skins, if you drink your wine, it won't matter. You know, you're not getting your afraid condition unmarked. You're kind of wasting that benefit of it.
We melt some snow since we're still outside.
That would be a survivalist test.
I have that.
Are we still outside?
But
I thought we were inside.
So you're technically, yeah, but you're in the pit, but you haven't gone inside yet, right? There's like open air above you.
Oh, okay. Well,
So we're
and there's snow
inside,
around
but
you.
not inside.
And real quick, well, so you guys did like lower all the way down. I'll real quick read the description I have for like the actual bottom here, right? The light of the world above filters in softly as you stand at the bottom of the shaft. Intricate carvings of long ago battles and feasts encircle you, though their origins are difficult to decipher at first glance. Obviously, you made the roll, so I'll give you more information in a second here. Patches of snow surround the ground around you, and wet dirt and stone and stubborn lichen fills the rest of it. A carved stone entrance lies before you, etched into one side of the cylinder, both of its stone doors cracked open and exposed to the cold. Dust and rubble fills the chamber inside. Oh, I guess you failed the roll. Sorry, yeah. But you succeeded, but marked the condition. That's what it was. So success reveals that while a few of the stories have modern counterparts, a few of the sagas are indeed reprinted here, though in an older form, Oscalad, than you're familiar with, right? So there's like details that are different that seem whatever older version of them there was. But most of the carvings are of some long forgotten war and will require further research to decipher the origin thereof. A couple of things that you do notice, though, is you see a carving of shows what you assume to be the building of this crypt and the entombing of its master, right? So you're like seeing a kind of like a hieroglyphic sort of, I guess, Norse rune carving sort of. I'm trying to remember there's a specific name for the sort of hieroglyphic stuff that the Norse do, but you see pictures of this tomb, what you assume to be this tomb, and there's no reason not to assume that. Someone being entombed there, right? And there's like various pictures of this process, right? And like it's preparing its guardians and its traps and all this stuff. So I'm gonna give you guys a couple of clues about the dungeon itself, right? You know that there is likely a guardian construct of some sort waiting below, right? Animated stone or something, by whatever ancient wizard Sorcerer-King made this and entombed himself here. There's also likely long dead bodyguards risen to unlife as Draugr. So you should be on the lookout for zombies. Lastly, a strangely intrusive motif of winding thorns fills the carvings, though there is no discernible reason for their inclusion in an otherwise consistent set of carvings. So it seems like that artistic choice is kind of strange and doesn't seem to fit everything else. There's like thorns throughout the whole thing, kind of winding and braiding around. So. Yep, that's what you learn. So you guys can like you're all talking this through and like cross-referencing things, right? And you're just like, this is like the actual picture of the tomb, and these are our guesses about what's in there based on that.
Does that mean we found out what kind of evils dwell there?
Sure, yeah.
Cool. All right. Also, real quick, not to derail, but
yeah,
I have Defender 2 and Touched by the Gods 2, and I don't think that's true anymore because when we changed my hometown, I think I have to take Rover or Loyal, and
so
not been.
Give yourself Defender 1 and Loyal 1 then, right?
Okay, are we sure Defender is?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Came
yeah.
From okay.
Or no, wait. What was the other one?
Touched by the Gods.
Yeah, Touched by the Gods is your class trait, so it would have had to have been Defender.
But I have it at 2.
Yeah, so you must have taken it for hometown and gotten it for something in your nature questions, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because I know that's in the nature questions. But if you have it at level 2, then you must have also had it for your hometown stuff. Right, because it stacks.
But if the hometown stuff changed, wouldn't that?
Right, so what I'm saying is one level of it goes away then, right? Because you
For Touched by the Gods? Or
no, for Defender, right? So you have Touched by the Gods at whatever level you have. Defender at 1 and Loyal at 1.
And I can pick between loyal or rover, right?
Yes, yeah, that's true. You can choose one of those.
What would rover be good for?
Let's see. We have a list here. Trait list. Rover. Rovers find it difficult to stay in one place for any length of time. They've been every place once or twice and are experts of life on the road. However, their reluctance to put down roots can make them blind to the bonds that tie communities together.
All right, what about loyal? That seems opposite.
Yeah, loyal people remain faithful and true through all hardships. However, their faithfulness can make them vulnerable to betrayal and encourage them to overlook faults in the object of their loyalty. Loyal seems... Yeah, I was gonna say loyal seems more accurate to me, but
sure, yeah, let's do that. I'm just not sure what situations I get dice for that, but yeah.
So keep in mind you are like adding mechanical stuff, so it would probably be like being too trusting of people you meet in a dungeon around the road or whatever, right? And like talking to them instead of fighting them, sort of stuff.
Okay, interesting.
Like for example, you like met someone in the dungeon and you're like, ooh, everybody's like, this guy seems sketchy. Oscalad could be like, no, he seems fine. I'm going to talk to him. And if you make some sort of social roll, you can be like, I'm going to mark this trait and give myself a minus dice to this social roll because it's probably going to go terribly wrong. Right. That could be a situation.
But then you can also use them to get dice. So would that be like when I'm interacting with someone I'm loyal to?
Probably. Yeah. Right. Like being like inspiring loyalty in others or, yeah, something like that.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then we made another test here. So the grind is at 3. So one more and everyone will get hungry and thirsty again, unless actually, I don't think I ever specified or confirmed. Did anybody take food and water?
Yeah, I'll eat. Well, do I have?
I think you have.
I know I have preserved rations. Oh, I have to do both.
I think so.
Oh, okay. I mean, I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah, it's hungry and thirsty.
How much does a water skin give you?
A water skin is belt 1 or pack 1.
Right, but I mean,
or you can get.
I think it's just 1 draw.
Jug, which is pack 3 and 3 draws.
Yeah. So.
But a water skin is just 1.
Just 1, yeah. But you can fill it up pretty easily, right? You just got to find water somewhere.
I'm gonna change my Wolf's Bane since I didn't know what that did. I just had that as a placeholder. I'm gonna carry a jug.
So you have a bow in one hand and just carry around a jug like an alcoholic. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, well, didn't I put a water skin in my sack?
I don't know.
If your sack isn't inside of your bag, you can't put something inside the sack.
No, you have a wineskin, Connor, on your belt. But you chose that instead.
Right. I remember doing both, though.
Well, the grappling hook takes 2, though, so you may have had it there at one point, and then we had
no, not on my belt.
In what other place?
In the sack.
Oh, the small sack. Yeah. I mean, I guess you could have done that. Rather, there's no reason why you couldn't have. So yeah, that's fine. Okay. If you want a water skin on there.
And you said it wasn't filled though.
So it's a small. Yeah, it's not filled. Yeah. So here.
No, I mean the water.
No, it can be. Yep. You always start out on an adventure with full water. There you go. I just added a small sack to your character sheet there, and marked water skin in there, so you can drink that first if you like.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought I filled that sack up, but maybe I didn't.
I don't think
it's not too late. You still.
And then preserved rations is the only other thing I think I can eat, so I'll do both of those.
Yep.
Preserved rations, you get 3.
Yep.
You only have 2.
No, I just.
Oh, you just ate it.
Okay. Yep.
Just go ahead and mark empty on the water skin as well there. So
condition.
No, just so we know.
Right. No, I was just joking. Add a condition to my water skin.
Yes.
It gained a negative quirk.
Indeed. Oscalad, did you eat and drink?
Yeah.
Cool. Just noting for everybody's sake.
So we don't go back to being fresh, right?
You do not. Once you get a condition, fresh goes away. So I think you guys were getting extra dice on all that for being fresh. So
I don't think it was actually giving them to us automatically. But maybe it was.
If it's March, let me try rolling something on Connor's. Nope, it automatically did it. Yep.
Well, because anytime we were like using 3 dice, that was what we rolled. I don't see any.
It has like active modifiers listed.
Yeah, like Pathfinder 4, he rolled 4 dice all 3 times.
I'm just gonna roll this from Connor's real quick and see. Nope.
I see he has
I did not add
3
it.
and rolled
Weird.
3 dice. Yeah. I mean, it didn't matter. The only thing we failed, we did not have a 1. Like, we got 1 to 3, so it wouldn't have mattered. But for future reference, if it ever matters again.
That's really strange because it's still marked as fresh and it said it on there and then it didn't do anything. That's weird. All right, we'll have to make note of that.
Well, like the game says, that probably won't matter again. So
yeah.
I am also eating and drinking, so
cool.
I'm back at not fresh.
But yeah, so you have deciphered the carvings. What would you like to do now?
I want to pack a bunch of snow into my water skin.
That would be a survivalist test to melt it properly, and
well, I just leave it there until it melts.
I just put it inside my jug that already has 2 drinks of water left, so the snow just automatically melts.
You know what? That's a smart idea. I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Then you pour your water into my water skin, and then you do it again.
Well, yeah, you can just slosh it around, right, and you can melt the snow. That's fine. Like, there's actually a rule in Torchbearer that says if there's just a smart idea that that's just smart, and you should just give it to them, right? Don't require a roll. It's just smart. So, yeah, snow is helpful for this sort of thing.
And we just grab a bunch of now that there's a bunch of grass exposed, we take the grass to eat for later.
No.
Darn.
All right, yeah. So there's the double doors of the crypt that are open in front of you. It doesn't seem like there's anything else down here in the shaft.
This jug was the best idea.
Yeah. Oh,
you're gonna have to drop it when you fight stuff.
Yeah, hopefully it's not made out of clay.
It definitely
it's made out of solid steel.
No.
I don't know if you'd want to drink out of that. All right. I guess I'll go through the door. I mean, the hole in the door.
Mm-hmm. All right. And now I bring you to the cool map that I made.
Yay.
All right. It should be just all
It's
black for you guys, right? Yeah. Right. Let me reveal.
So you want us to really dungeon delve?
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Perfect.
There you go.
I mean, it couldn't be darkest
As it
dungeon
should
unless
be.
it was dark, right?
Exactly. So there you go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and drag your guys' tokens out here. Keep in mind as we go through this will not be like Dungeons and Dragons. The distances do not matter, right? Like, don't pay any attention to exact details on this map. This is for visualization only and not.
I loot this camp right here and take all their food.
Yeah, so I'll read off that. Light streams in from the world outside, casting shadows in the dusty chamber beyond. It's dim light in here. Rubble from a partially collapsed ceiling lies strewn about, and patches of snow that must have sneaked in during the storm slumping along the walls or rubble. A makeshift campfire, now reduced to ashes, sits in the northeast corner of the chamber, and scattered gear encircles it, including bedrolls, pots and pans, and a small collection of unused firewood. Darkness obscures what lays ahead to the north as the chamber narrows and leads further into the tomb. So yes, if you guys want to snag any of the extra gear, you can. You just have to have room for it, right? But this is also a good place to camp too, right? If you come back to it, and yeah, if you guys want to poke around or whatever. Again, it's dark beyond this, so if you want to light a torch, so you'll probably have to do that if you move beyond this chamber. But there is the room narrows and continues on to the north of you guys.
Does anybody have a torch?
Fighters have torches and/or lanterns.
Sorry, I lied. It's light in here, and it's dim light beyond. So you can't actually go into the next room without a torch, but it will be dim light and not bright light, which does have its penalties and stuff. So still might be a good time to light a torch.
Apparently, if you're a fighter, you get free torches. That's what Jared just said.
No.
But says
Yes, so I know Torchbearer is weird and janky and lists things that it shouldn't, and also makes a rule about having things that are gear. It lists those things because they could be weapons, not because you have them automatically as a fighter. I'm making game master calls on certain items that, even though they're listed in supplies, you don't get them for free.
Oh, well, I don't have any light source.
You got rid of your.
Well,
Didn't
yes. I looked at fighter and it says I have torches and lanterns.
No.
Well,
I have candles.
Kagan has a torch or a lantern, I think. No, wait, you just have flasks of oil.
It's all, you don't have anything
for
I
Jared's
have
lantern.
I have flasks of oil and something else too. I can't remember what it is though.
Oh, we can take a look.
At the very least, I thought I was going to. No, I didn't grab any.
No,
light
he just
source.
grabbed extra flasks of oil for your lantern that you now
good
got
thing
rid of, Jared.
elves have dark vision.
No, they don't.
Can a lantern go on the belt?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
I'll double check though.
You wear it on your head.
It can go. Yeah, it's carried or pack.
Well, if you're not going to take a lantern, you shouldn't take lantern oil. I mean, you should take torches instead.
Yeah, do you want to just replace that with?
Unless they're not
Torches.
the same.
Oh, actually, Kagan, did you put this in your pocket? Didn't you? Yeah, that's what it was.
Yep.
Put
Yeah.
oil in your pocket?
Yeah, flasks. of
Well,
oil.
it's flasked.
I have a holy water flask in
Yeah.
my pocket.
You do?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so you can put you actually have something in your pocket, and it's one of your relics, David. But technically pockets you can put other things in your pockets. But if they're not a simple trinket that like actually has like pocket listed as its thing, they can be lost as part of a twist. So your pockets can be emptied. But technically you can stuff more stuff in your pockets if you want to. It's just
Okay.
that they're at risk. Yeah, Jared, so is anyone going to take a lantern or a torch, or is David literally just going to light a
I'm
candle?
I'm looking at things. It's like,
I don't
this
have a
has good
torch, so-
candles.
So you said you can just put it in a backpack, right?
I don't have a backpack.
It's pack 2. Lantern is a
Yeah,
pack
but
2.
I do.
Torches are pack 1 for 3 of them.
All right. Well, what do I have my candles in my backpack? It looks like
Maybe.
it's okay. I can
Candle
replace that.
provides light for one character for 4 turns.
And dim light,
So
I believe, for someone else,
So
I think.
somehow, that's not what it says, but
So
Maybe not.
I can just
A
replace the
lantern.
candles with torches.
Sure, if you want to. Yeah.
torches provide light for 2 characters for 2 turns.
Yeah, and
I
then
assume when it says turns, it means like
it means rolls.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
The grind, all time passes in tests.
And you get 4
Yeah.
torches, not 3.
No, you get 3.
It says 4 right here.
Oh
Cost and inventory is for 4 torches.
yeah, what am I thinking? I thought it was 3. Weird.
okay. We're not gonna light one until we need to make a test, I guess, because
A lantern provides light for 3 characters for 3 turns. Lanterns require oil for fuel. The oil must be acquired or purchased separately.
actually I have a spear and a shield. Someone else can hold the torch.
I have a jug.
Set it in the jug. How about you, Kagan? Can you hold the torch? Are you
One of your
carrying
hands,
7,000
right? I have
pounds
to-
of incense or something?
I have to carry my
He has a big
My-
old halberd.
Yeah, you can carry that in
it's
one
a
hand.
it's a half moon glaive that's considered as a halberd in game
Right.
mechanics.
Yeah, so carry it in your other hand.
His other hand has a sack.
Gosh.
Oh right, and okay, I forgot about that. Yeah, so
Well, your water skin
I
is
thought I had to carry it with both hands, but you're right.
Yeah, you just
Right,
have to,
exactly.
when you wield it, you have to use both hands.
I
Right,
put my
yeah.
shield on my head and I'll hold the torch.
This would all be solved if Jared hadn't gotten rid of his lantern.
Well, that was before the game. I don't even remember what I okay. I got the jug. But we already used the jug, so I can't get rid of it.
what is the rule for a lantern?
It's pack 2 or carried 1.
Right, but I mean, like, what is it?
3 people.
How does it? For how long?
2 turns, I believe.
All right, and it uses a thing of oil
3
every
turns.
time, I assume.
Yeah,
Three
3
turns
for
oil.
3 for 3.
All right, so I'll just get rid of the torches, put them in the lantern.
No, sorry. It provides light for 3. Oh, wait, that's a covered lantern. There's a difference.
Which one's better? I take whichever one's
You actually,
better.
sorry, there's other gear that's listed in an extra thing. You can't have it to start with, though. So the one you have would be light for 3 characters for 3 turns. Yes.
Okay.
I'll switch out my holy water flask for an oil flask as well, since we haven't used it yet.
So I have holy water too. So
Yeah.
a lantern a lantern for 3 turns.
Plus my 3 for my oil, plus 3 for Connor's oil.
Yeah, so it will be a bunch of more oil.
Does it come with turns?
It comes automatically with like the 3 turns. Yeah,
And it takes 2 slots.
2 in a pack. Yes.
Yeah, I'm using it. It's in my backpack. How do I denote that?
You just write it in twice. Take
Okay.
2 slots.
All
right.
Do you already have 2 slots allocated? Did you have 2 slots allocated for torches or just 1?
Just 1.
Oh, okay.
But he had empty spaces in his backpack.
Yeah,
so-
I have only 1 extra spot in my thing now, but
Don't worry. I light it with my tinder box. You don't have to worry about that.
I mean, you didn't have to worry about it before, but it just happens.
okay. And now that we figured that out, I mean, so if I light a lantern, it doesn't go away until we make a roll, right?
Yes.
It's
So
okay.
it lasts for 3 rolls. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't have to worry about it.
So I mean, you could literally just not, if you didn't make a test for like hours and hours and hours, it would still last, right?
You just have light. Okay.
What if he sets it down for when we make that turn so it's not in his possession? Does the lantern still know?
Yes.
Then we don't have light for that roll, and then it doesn't
exactly
tick down, right?
No, it doesn't.
Do elves still have low light vision?
No.
No, I don't think so. All right, now that we've gotten in the door and it's 10 o'clock, I walk over here.
You guys switched out your inventory like a bajillion times.
That's 'cause you
yes.
keep changing the rules.
Kagan, as a reminder, Kagan, do you want to use your instinct to look in the next room before you guys keep going?
If I'm going first,
I'm
it doesn't
sorry.
matter.
I didn't realize you had to ask me. I thought my instinct said always.
No, that's why I'm saying it, is because you have
No,
the instinct
yeah.
that you can do for free.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take a peek. What do I roll for that? Do I make a roll for that?
Yeah, it would be, I believe it's Scout is the role.
Man, I should have gotten Scout as
Yeah.
a skill.
Right. That also means that if you fail, we still get stuff. So like,
It's true.
it's not really worth doing this every time, probably. But
I help him with my scout. He holds it up, but we
Still
both
have a
look
skill.
through it.
I help with laborer and I open the door.
I think he can. No, yeah, he would have to help you with his stat, I believe. No, maybe you can. I don't know.
Oh, so I can roll with Will?
Yeah, it's a bean learn thing, so you would roll with Will if you still wanted to do it. Up to you,
Yeah,
though.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Let's try it. Let's fail our first roll, guys.
Yeah, let me take a look real quick before you roll anything.
Jared failed lore master, remember?
Well, but he still succeeded at a cost.
Yeah, but
You're
That's
going to
what I
succeed
can
at a
do.
cost too. Just be shot through the hand.
you see the crossbow. He shoots you.
You know what? In this instance, I don't think there's anything that could go wrong here, so I'm just gonna give it to you for free. There's no roll. You just look in through the
that's
mirror.
nice.
Right. And
Have I ever seen you do this before?
oh, you asking Kagan?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Have I ever seen you walk up to a door, stick your hand in with a mirror, and not open it like a sane human being?
No, probably not. I only did
And
this
I
in
ask
dungeons.
you what you're doing. Like,
I'm investigating. Would you like to open the door and find out at
There's
the
no door,
same
but-
time as our enemy finds out that we're here?
that's usually how I do it.
I whisper to Ascalad, don't worry. Eventually there'll be a trap on the door and he's just going to activate it for free.
So as a note, there's no door here. It's just an open archway.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not
Um,
sure that makes me feel any better.
So here's the description here. Recesses line the walls here, housing the bodies of long dead men and women. A few of these corpses have been disturbed and now lay crumpled on the floor to the west, as well as a much more fresh-looking corpse of a man missing his head.
Pretty dead.
A large stone sarcophagus sits in the eastern portion of the room, and various parchments, maps, and a dusty book lay scattered across its surface. Broken pottery lies at the foot of the stone edifice. 3 corridors lead out of the chamber, one to the north and 2 to the east, one of which contains several large mechanical arms with blades at the end of them, all spinning wildly.
I point at that door and I say, "Hey, Kagan, do you want to go stick your mirror in there?"
You
See if
have
there's
to.
any traps.
It's always.
No, he can invoke it if he wants to.
That's how it always means. All right.
So I'm revealing this the hall corridors to you guys as well.
Okay.
Oops, that didn't work.
We loot the room.
Ah, dang it, that was weird.
Whoa. What?
Sorry, I messed something up.
Oh, when you said this, I thought you meant there was a door and there was just a bunch of spinning blades in front of the door. But you mean
No.
there's a bunch of spinning blades down the hallway?
Yes. So if you
Okay.
look to the right there, there's like literally like a
Yeah,
trap
I see
hallway
now.
full of like spinning blades, and they're currently
Cool.
active.
Well, nobody put anything at the end of that hallway without dying, so it's probably nothing down there.
I use my
Uh,
10-foot pole that the Dungeoneers automatically have.
Gets chopped into pieces. All right, cool.
Yeah. So
I'll go
you
check out this dead guy.
check out that guy first. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it seems like he is wearing just kind of like dirty, not rags exactly, but like dirty utilitarian clothing. Or you're actually using feeler to
I
like.
heal him. No, I'm kidding. I was joking.
Okay. All right.
I put his head back up. Sorry, what?
Because I mean, technically, you could roll it to like find out how he died and things, right?
Oh, well, he's missing his head, right?
Yeah. I mean, it seems pretty obvious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
I guess I'll look and see if he has any identifying stuff or like,
Gold, baby.
yeah, I'll
Yeah,
rifle through his pockets.
There's nothing in his pockets. There's nothing like treasure or anything like that. There's like a kind of rusty axe next to his corpse, but it looks useless. It's just junk.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, it seems like he's some sort of ruffian of some sort, right? Like I don't. It's hard to tell exactly, but certainly not anyone of good repute.
Okay. Can I try and
yeah.
jam these spinning traps with his axe?
That is certainly something you can attempt. Yeah. Let me.
I do it from a distance, though. I'm gonna throw the axe at it. I'm not gonna like stick my hand in it.
So that would be an Ob 3 Sapper test.
Never mind.
Just fail it though. You got to unlock it eventually.
Yeah,
I
luckily,
don't want sapper.
luckily, I don't think this game requires you to make the roll if I give you the Ob. So yeah,
Yeah. Well, I thought I could use fighter to like chuck an axe. That's why.
No.
If I had known it was sapper,
yeah
I wouldn't
it's
have
an
bothered.
actual like you have to understand how the mechanisms are working enough to be able to jam them. Right?
Oh, okay.
I'll try it. Let's go.
Do you have sapper?
No.
Did you want to try it anyway?
Yeah.
No,
I
you
throw it
don't.
from a distance though.
You
and
understand that if you make rolls, it screws all of us. We don't want to just make rolls for no reason,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
a good
unfortunate.
point. I
you're on the
forgot,
edge of the
yeah.
grind. By the way, next
Yeah.
test advances the grind. So,
Never mind.
what is everybody else doing as Oscalad pokes around the body?
What a sentence.
Searching the room. Searching the room.
Yeah, so I mean, there's like stuff on that that sarcophagus there, right? Like a bunch of like parchments and maps and things. There's a bunch of broken pottery on the
read
ground.
them.
You want to look at the parchments first?
Yeah.
Sounds good. So you see, what do we got here? You see some books, parchments, and maps. There's also some gold and silver coins that are left on the sarcophagus. It looks like
Money, money, money.
they're just kind of scattered on the on top of it.
I picked them up.
All right, sounds good. Some of the
How many
Draugr,
dice of treasure is that?
some of the Draugr in the alcove start animating as soon as you touch the treasure.
Unbelievable.
Wow, way to go!
You do get 1D of silver coins and 2D of gold coins, though.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
geez.
let's go.
Never mind. That's almost worth it.
Cool. So let's figure out the conflict, shall we?
It's almost worth it if we don't die.
Well, I mean, but if we do die, it doesn't matter. So
I just book it. See you guys.
Yeah, run in straight into the blade hallway. Okay. The game master determines that the players have triggered a conflict. The game master decides on the conflict type based on the player's descriptions and stakes clearly what's at stake. Okay, so first we need to decide
The negotiation, right?
as you see the Draugr animating, right? So I think there are 3 of them. Let me double check my notes. Yes. No. 4 3 of them, yes. So
Tell them to go away.
So they look like this.
Yeah,
So there you go. We got the Draugr coming to life. Their eyes are glowing, kind of like a icy blue, and their kind of rusty armor hanging off of them.
nice.
And they come to life. How are you guys responding? Right, as Eldred like just snatches up the gold without even thinking about it. What are the rest of you like? You guys notice this, right? They all just start shambling to life. What are you doing?
I'm right here. I just stab it with my
Yeah, just
spear.
immediately like, going for the attack.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So let's talk about conflicts in Torchbearer. So there are 3 main like fighty conflicts that are going to be relevant. One is kill, right? Just seeking to destroy your enemy. The other is drive off, right? So just like get away, like have them flee, right? The other would be you can flee yourself, right? You can just decide to flee, but that's a conflict in and of itself, right? You have to get away from them.
Mhm.
You can also pursue, right? If they're fleeing, you can engage a conflict to chase them down. And then there are, talking, convincing conflicts and other stuff like that. There are also like banish conflicts and other things. Like if there's like an evil spirit haunting someone, there's stuff that you can do there. This seems like a pretty simple, like you're just fighting them, right? But I'll go ahead and warn you up front. Kill conflicts in Torchbearer are really deadly. So the whole idea is if you decide to try to destroy something, right, you are opening yourself up to being killed. If you don't do that, then there's a much less, I think there's still a chance that someone might be killed if like things go catastrophically wrong, but it's not automatically on the table in the same way that just saying I'm killing them is, right? So Torchbearer wants you to be very conservative with your resources, with how much you're engaging an enemy. So what would you guys like to attempt to do? Do you want to drive them off or just seek to destroy them utterly?
If we drive them off, won't we just run into them again?
Maybe, but they're going to be fleeing from you, right? The idea is that they have, maybe
Oh,
not
they
permanently,
stay
but they're like
running.
scared of you, right?
Okay.
Drive them off into the blades.
I don't know that makes sense for their standing like or position, but that would be nice.
You'd have to retreat into the blades yourself.
I thought the blades are right here.
No, the blades are to your
Yeah,
right.
they're over here.
Oh, they're
See all the little
Where
blades
the
in
blades
the...
are.
Yeah.
All we have to do is we just kite them around the table until we are here and they're here. And then,
You push them in.
Yeah.
Given the way conflicts work, that could be a role, right? Maneuvering is the thing. You can do that sort of stuff, but that's part of the
Okay.
conflict, not a separate thing. So
Okay. I mean, yeah, if driving off is less likely to get us killed and we don't have to fight them later, then that's fine with me.
right, because I think they're attempting to, like, their main goal is to drive you off. They're not automatically going for the kill, so you guys can also do
Oh,
that.
That's surprising. Okay.
But so you could escalate if you want to, but they're not actually seeking to just automatically kill. They're just like, get away from our
Sure.
treasure, sort of.
Gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
I
is
guess
that what
I
you guys gonna do?
yell like, they're getting up, and then I poke it with a stick. And then I guess I have to set my lantern down and grab my shield, right?
Yeah. Set it on the sarcophagus right here.
With it.
Mhm. That's true.
I set my jug down.
Yeah, and if there's that, I assume Kagan sets his sack down as well, right? Because everybody needs to have their weapons. So keep in mind, setting things down means they're open to like twists and things, causing them to be broken or lost or whatever.
No,
Um,
not my water.
I know.
I put
okay.
it back in my bag.
All right, so we're going to first compare the might of the team, of each team to determine what effect it has, to determine the effect of the conflict type. So they are all might 2, which means you guys are might 3 as adventurers. So this is like a scale of how deadly things are.
Yeah.
You guys are adventurers, so you're might 3, but you're also precedence 0, which is the social deadliness. No one cares about you socially, but you're moderately dangerous as adventurers. These are like, random mooks, so they're only might 2. Like critters or vermin would be might 1.
We get an extra dice for that.
And you do get extra dice for being stronger than them, basically. And let's see, determine might. This is going to take a little bit here, so just as we're getting used to the way it works. And the way this works for the grind is this entire conflict is going to count as 1 test for purposes of the grind, even though you're going to be making a bunch of rolls.
That also mean that my lantern goes down 1.
It will, yeah. By the end of it, right?
Okay.
Okay.
It's a bummer.
Let me look at might real quick, so we know what's going on here. Okay. Oh, I see what they're saying. So yeah, so as a note, this is something that's actually important. Your might determines what you can and can't fight and how you can fight them, right? So anything that is 3 or less, you can capture, attack, kill, drive off, whatever you want to do, right? Fighting wise. Anything that is might 4, you can only try to kill and drive off. You can't try to capture. Anything that's might 5 or above, actually, only thing that's might 5, you can drive them off, but that's it. And I think might 6, like you just can't fight. You have to run away, right? So there's certain things that are just too powerful for you that you just can't fight. You just have to run away from. That's your only option.
And what might are these?
These are 2. So you can capture. I forgot capture is technically one of them. So you could seek to capture them and not kill them, and like just learn something about them or whatever.
But yeah.
Technically an option. Yes. Okay. So that's why I referenced it.
So what's the bonus you get for might? Is it a success or a die?
I don't know.
Because I remember thinking that if you tried to fight a god, he just got like 5 successes every time he tried to hit you before he
there's something
rolled.
like that.
But
I'm trying to. Yeah, here we go. Okay. In addition to determining what you can and can't kill, your might grants +1 success per point of might greater than your opponent's for all successful or tied actions in kill, capture, and drive off conflicts. So the way you can get extra dice. You can get extra dice in Torchbearer, right? And that's just a dice. You can also get extra successes. Successes only count when you have a tie or a success. They don't count when you have a failure, right? So if extra successes don't automatically make a failure into a success. But that'll be something that pops up.
What would the benefit to having more successes once you succeeded be?
There are certain like extra things you get. Usually it's, I think, tiebreakers are the main thing, right?
Okay.
I'm sure there's some other success thing, but I don't remember it off the top of my head.
All right. That's where I thought the +1 success would be better than a +1 die. It doesn't.
I don't think it is. Well, I guess it can be because it depends on what you roll. But okay. So the players choose a conflict captain. This is basically the person who divvies up, who rolls for the disposition, which is like your hit points for the fight. The entire party gets like rolls hit points together, and then the conflict captain distributes hit points based on how like he how helpful a combatant is or whatever. He decides this. So who would like to be the conflict captain? Who's going to be in charge of distributing things?
What do you have to roll?
The conflict captain rolls for disposition. Team members help if they have the. So this would be the best fighter, I think, is the idea.
Okay.
So it's probably David.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's you.
I also have 3.
Yeah, so it's either one of you. I think it makes sense for Oscalad because he's the one who like was right next to them and is fighting them. But
yeah.
Cool. The game master selects a boss monster if one is needed. I don't think we need one here. The conflict captain.
You have forks that go into your fighter, David?
Are there forks that go into fighter?
I don't know.
Hunter. If you're using a bow.
Hunter is the only one that's listed there.
And then no. But I don't have a bow, so it wouldn't have counted anyways. But I guess if that's the case, then you should do it.
That's true.
It's up to you guys. I don't really care.
Dice. You probably roll better than I will too. So
Yeah, so maybe we see Oskalad just like, have his spear, just like, oh, and then an arrow whizzes from behind him, right, and sticks into him. But we'll get there when we get there. So conflict captain rolls for disposition. Team members help if they have the appropriate skill and if they describe their actions. So let me look at disposition. Each team's strength in a conflict is represented by a score called disposition. Each side attacks the other to deplete their disposition as the conflict plays out. When one side reduces their opponent to 0 disposition and retains at least 1 point themselves, they win. To generate a team's disposition, the conflict captain rolls the appropriate listed skill and adds their successes to the rating of their listed base ability. Actually, yeah, this depends on... Yeah, so fighter is the skill you roll for drive-off conflicts.
Okay.
Pursuing is either scout or rider.
Okay.
Other things will have other things like that. Like if you want to capture something, you can roll hunter instead, fighter or hunter to do it. Yes. So go ahead and we'll do drive off. Have you roll fighter, Jared. Teammates may help the roll with the listed skill is what it says. So you, trying to decide if you get a fork here. It doesn't say otherwise, I don't think. So I think you're fine. I'll give it to you. Nobody has any conditions right now. Do you drop your backpack, David? Or do you keep it?
How much stuff can I drop? I have to drop my lantern too, don't I?
That's fine. You can drop whatever.
Okay, then yeah, I guess I'll drop my backpack and my lantern and grab my shield.
Okay, sounds good. So there won't be any backpack penalty there. Okay, yeah. So go ahead and roll fighter, Jared.
All right.
You can fork on hunter, and then I assume Oskalad is helping you with his fighter. Kagan doesn't have fighter, so he can't help.
Wait, what? How do you have? Don't you have to take that because of your spear or whatever?
No, weirdly, it's more ceremonial than anything.
Yep. Yep.
You don't
He's
have a single fighting skill?
I thought
That
I
is
read.
correct. Well, I have a arcanist, but
he doesn't have any
I
spells
can't
yet.
cast spells yet because I'm not level 2.
Oh.
Welcome to the Dreamwalker.
You say that like you didn't pick it.
Well,
He manipulates them into the trap.
Again, there are rolls and things he can do in the middle of things. He just can't help you with the hit point roll for the combat. Right. This is like generating hit points for everybody in the combat. This is like Duel of Wits, right? It's like you're generating the body of argument that is going to be depleted.
Right.
So, were there any other modifiers besides David and my hunter?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And you can't fail
Let's
this. This
see.
is just generating successes.
Oh, okay. So just odd one then.
Mhm.
2.
All right.
Oh my god.
Sounds good. So that means you have 2 hit points to spare, and every combatant in it needs at least 1 hit point. So I assume Connor gets left out of the combat because he's not going to be that helpful anyway, right?
How does that work?
Yeah, it's just like everyone needs. It basically the way it works is, they either extras do not meaningfully participate. They either get in the way, or they either get in the way of their friends or wander off. They do not take action or help during the conflict, which makes sense. I mean, Kagan's not good at fighting, like, so he's just like standing by.
Can I just start reading the pages on the table? Like during the fight, can you
Sure,
make rolls
sure.
and like describe things to me and stuff like that?
I don't think you can. Oh, maybe it is. Yeah. Let me wait. Chad is saying something. I might have gotten this wrong. Oh, adds their successes to the rating of their listed base ability. Okay, there's more than 2. Yeah, so you add your fighter, but you have fighter 5. Oh, fighter 3.
Yeah, but if you added 2 to the 3,
so 5 altogether is what you have, Eldred. So you can give Kagan stuff, and there's other stuff you can do in combat besides stabbing things. So thanks for that catch there, Gano.
No, I'm confused. So I say it again.
You can't do stuff.
Fight now.
It's up to Jared.
Okay.
How to distribute the hit points, so he can choose not to give you any hit points, but
Okay.
there are enough to go around now.
Okay.
Yeah. How would you like to? So this is basically If their hit points to get depleted, they get taken out of the fight. It's not necessarily that they get injured or anything. It's just like they can't be helpful the rest of the fight. You have 5 to spare.
All right, 1 to Connor, 2 for David and I.
That makes sense. Okay. And yeah, there'll be a lot of confusing rules that we'll have to wade through here as we get started, but hopefully it will make sense as we keep going. And then I'll go ahead and roll for the... Oh, actually, there's just a listed disposition I can use. Let me find it. Do. Oops, that's not the right thing. Handouts. Monster handouts. Draugr. Okay. So they get 7 hit points in a drive-off conflict. So I will go ahead and give 3 to one of them, 2, and 2 to the others.
You don't have to roll; they just automatically get a punch.
Yeah, they're based on what sort of conflicts they're good at dealing with. They just get a base disposition based on their nature and stuff.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
do they get less health if we try to kill them?
Yes, they do. Actually.
Okay.
I know. Again, the rules in this game are not for realism. They're for a certain type of game vibe, not for realism. Let me look back at these rules here. Okay, back at the procedure.
I guess it makes sense that it's easier to kill a zombie than to make the zombies understand that it should be scared of you.
All right. Okay, conflict procedure. Let me drag out this conflict mat.
I didn't mute myself. Oop.
It's okay.
Whoa. Half of that is blocked by Fog of War for me. By half, I mean almost all of it.
That's not gonna work.
Just make it really small and cover the fighting.
Yeah, that's not gonna be helpful. Here, I'll just do this.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go over to.
Whoa.
We'll go over to this real quick. Okay, so this is gonna work similar to like the fight rules and stuff, right? You're like announcing actions and things. There are 4 actions in Torchbearer fights. So it's attack, defend, feint, and maneuver. So let's see. Each of your weapons should actually have a listed like what they're good at stuff. Though sometimes they give like bonuses to certain actions. And I believe this is in the Dungeoneer's Handbook. I'll see if I can find it. Gear. Should be in the gear handout. Yeah, here we go. So bow is gets +2 dice to maneuver. Spear gets +1 die to maneuver as well. What does that mean? It's like a weird symbol on spear for defense.
Oh, it's for corridors.
In narrow corridors or tight confines, a spear also grants +1 to defend. That makes sense. And then a halberd. Ooh, halberd gets +1 die to attack, +1 die to maneuver, but -1 die to feint. So you can note that. And then the way this works is, okay, yeah. So different, in a different type of conflict, different abilities are what you're rolling for this. So in a drive-off conflict, you're rolling fighter if you want to attack. You're rolling will if you want to defend. You're rolling fighter if you want to feint, and you're rolling will if you want to maneuver.
What does feint do in this?
Yeah, that's what I'm
maneuver,
trying to find
obviously.
here.
It's your self-explanatory.
So,
Combat.
yeah, conflict is the handout you're gonna want to look at. I'm trying to find a list here or an explanation of what's going on. Okay, so it has less to do with like you're doing a particular thing, I think, and more what you're doing it against.
Also, your attack reduces hit points based on margin of success. So that's why extra successes are useful, even if you
yes, that makes sense.
It changes the kind of test. Attacks played against attack or feint are independent, whereas against defend or maneuvers versus. So it's like in fight, it's based on the test that you're opposing.
All right, here we go. I have the list for like descriptions of them. An attack is an attempt to end this conflict in a decisive move. In a kill conflict, it can mean hacking away at your opponent or filling them full of arrows. Let's see. Attack reduces your opponent's hit points by the margin of success. Attacks played against attack or feint is an independent test, but attack played against defend or maneuver is a versus test. The defend action protects and strengthens your position. In a kill conflict, this could mean blocking your opponent's weapon or rescuing a comrade. This also counts for a drive off. Defend blocks attacks and maneuvers and restores hit points. Defend played against attack and maneuver, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a regroup option that heals you. How does that work?
Yeah, regroup allows a team to regain hit points and bring fallen teammates back into the fray. Restore hit points like so. In a versus test, add the margin of success to your hit points using the procedure described below. For an independent defend, add 1 plus the margin of success to your hit points using the procedure described below. So this, the idea, I think, is just like you're defending your companions and keeping them defended so they can like catch their breath and whatnot.
What are you rolling against? This 3?
Either a versus based on what they did, right? Or an independent and you're just how many successes.
Right. I see what it means.
Yeah.
Okay.
Feint represents a deceptive attack. It's risky to try, but when it works, it's very effective. In a kill conflict, a feint is a feint, obviously. Feint reduces your opponent's hit points by the margin of success, and if it's played against defend, it's like very good.
Right.
Maneuver.
So does defend always heal you? Except unless they're fainting.
No.
So it literally just says defend blocks, attacks, and maneuvers and restores hit points. And then down here it just says you gain, like it doesn't say when to regroup. You just say you do that.
Oh yeah, I guess maybe so.
Weird. Okay, sorry.
And then lastly, maneuver is used to gain an advantage over your opponent. In a kill conflict, a maneuver could be a push or a flanking move. And then you can spend the margin of success to do various things, like impede, gain position, disarm, rearm, all those sorts of things. So if anyone wants to reference this, it's the conflict handout in that folder I linked. So I think I remember how this works now. The Game Master and players announce which weapons, spells, or invocations their characters and creatures equip for this round. I assume everyone's just going to equip their only weapon, right? Because unless Oscalad randomly wants to do an invocation, but I assume he won't.
I don't have anything that would be useful.
Yeah.
I can make them less angry.
The Game Master chooses 3 actions and then waits for the players. I already know which actions I'm going to do. After discussing options with their team, the conflict captain chooses 3 actions and assigns each to a character for this round. During the round, the Game Master and players reveal and resolve each action in order, one at a time. So same sort of thing as you, but you guys can talk about like, so since there are 3 of you and there are 3 actions, you can just have each person do 1, right? But I believe unless you're doing defend or maneuver, right? You're rolling fighter. But Kagan, you might have a chance to do something useful because you can just roll your will, right, for defend or maneuver. So, yeah, up to you guys. It's ultimately up to Jared, which actions he assigns to people, but you guys can obviously talk about it.
Connor towers in fear.
No, you can't make him fail a steel test.
Connor jumps into the blades, the clog them with his bones and viscera.
No. You can't control his movement or whatever. You choose what action he's doing.
Okay.
But yeah, up to you guys.
Real quick, maneuver. It says that a margin of success of 4 allows you to rearm, which says you or a teammate can grab a weapon or whatever, or you can grab something for your belt. Does that mean you have to get a 4 margin success maneuver to draw another weapon in a fight?
In the middle of combat, right? So at the beginning of each new round or new exchange or whatever, where you start at 1 again after the 3, then everybody gets to choose new weapons.
Oh, I was like, that's insane.
No, it's just like,
Right,
I've been disarmed and I need my weapon real fast so I can do something, sort of thing.
Okay.
What do you roll to maneuver?
Will in this case.
You get +2 dice to do it with bow, though. So
yeah.
You could literally try to shoot the weapons out of their hands, right?
Yeah.
So gain position, disarm. Well, it's only 1 opponent's.
Yeah.
So just one of them.
Yeah, I mean you're doing these against one particular opponent each time.
Oh, is opponent like just one singular person, or like the whole group?
Oh yeah, let me double check that. Let's see.
I assume opponent just means whoever you're rolling against, right? Specifically.
Assign each character an action. During the round, the game master and players reveal and resolve each action order, one at a time. Reduce or increase disposition according to the results of each action. Yeah, I think it might depend on... I think you might get to choose who takes the damage. Right? It's just like you're doing it against the team, and then... let me double check that, though. Taking hits. Here we go. Maybe you are doing it against particular people. Okay, yeah. If they take more damage than they have hit points, the excess damage overflows into their teammates.
So it's 1 unless I do enough, and then
unless they do enough, yeah.
All right. So I think I should probably do maneuver then, right?
It's definitely the most useful in terms of amount of dice you're rolling.
Yeah. Feint, defend, and attack. David attacked.
Yeah,
Connor, what do you want to do?
Having him to defend or maneuver is probably the best because he gets to roll will for that.
Okay, yeah.
Connor, you can defend if you're cool with that.
If I can what?
Defend? I don't know.
Defend? No, you said you can defend if you can what?
If you're cool with that.
If you're able.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, and I think this would be like Kagan just holding his halberd and like keeping them back as you know people are fighting.
Also, just to be clear, I have a shield. This gives me 2 dice to defend. So, I mean, I didn't describe myself as defending, so I don't think I should do that. But
I mean, you could do whatever you. I don't want to
actually choose
what
next exchange if you're still one, right?
I also assume that you can't regain HP or whatever that you didn't have. So yeah, if I defended and rolled well now, my HP wouldn't go up.
Yeah, that's true. And so Kagan probably should be 2nd or 3rd in the order, right? Because then he has hit points to regain for people.
Yeah. So if I go first and do gain position, would David get +2 to your team's next action?
Thanks.
Right.
It depends on what maneuver does, I suppose.
Yeah, it says maneuver margin of success 1, impede, margin of success 2, gain position 3, disarm.
Sure, that makes sense to me.
Okay. So I'll go first. I'll roll.
Are we going back to the combat dealio, or are we using the card still?
I give me just a second. I'm just double checking. Yeah, okay. I think these are supposed to be against particular things, so that makes sense. Yeah, I think I do have a deck here. I think I put it in. Yeah, here we go. So I think we know well enough how this works, so we don't necessarily need a mat for this. We can just place them. Okay, so you guys see that deck on the bottom there?
Yeah.
So they should go in face down. So if you want to go ahead and put your 3 in a row.
But Caleb already knows what we're going to do forever.
I already chose at the beginning, so
Mhm.
I haven't changed it.
Drawing it, putting it on the black map doesn't help. Oh, okay, it's gone forever.
Next week we're gonna be like, what is this crazy skull thing?
Should probably make these smaller.
I dealt our hand up here.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Oh shoot! Not moving us around. Sorry, I saw you adding cards down there, and I'm like, I already did it. How'd you make them smaller?
Just doing that.
I don't know what that means.
It's all good. I'm just placing them myself at this point. We'll go ahead and do that, and then they have this, and then we'll just go ahead and role play the descriptions as they appear. Okay. Looks kind of messy, but it's fine. All right, I think that's all that we need to do there. I think we can just flip them as far as I can tell. Let's check the procedure. Yep, we reveal an action each in order at a time. Go ahead and flip it. Whoop. There you go. They're maneuvering too. So what are you actually doing in narrative, Jared, to maneuver?
I'm maneuvering around the table over here. I'm going to try and funnel them into the blades eventually.
Okay, yeah. Sounds good. They
Independent for maneuver versus maneuver.
Independent. Okay, yeah, everybody's just trying to do their own thing. So let's see. Yeah, I think this main dude is doing this. Actually, I think it's this dude on the side, this Draugr on the side, is going to try to maneuver against you there, David. And it will depend on what he gets, I suppose.
I mean, technically he's maneuvering against Jared, but yeah. That's who he's rolling against, right?
Yeah, well, but they're also independent, right? That's what I'm confused about.
Well, I mean, it's independent in the sense that like their roles don't impede each other to. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter either way.
Yeah, that probably makes the most sense. Yeah, to do it that way, to narratively do that way. Yeah, so you're trying to maneuver in. Let's just roll it because I think it will make more sense when we actually roll it and can choose actions that are taken. I don't really know how to describe what he's doing until the margin of success happens here. So,
yeah. Okay,
I'm just gonna roll fighter and stuff for this, and you can go ahead and do that as well.
It's will, not fighter.
Or yeah, will. Sorry.
Is there fighter higher than their will? I hope.
I guess. Sorry,
stats.
they just roll nature for everything.
Oh
wow.
For everything?
For everything, yeah. So they have the same roll. So he got 2 successes. Independent obstacle is 0, so he can do gain position, which I think is probably what he's going to do, right?
It's not 1.
No, it's 0. It literally says it here.
Am I able to fork things into this roll?
If it makes sense, I think.
Okay, well, I mean fighter and hunter because I'm shooting them.
Oh, sorry. It's will, so no. You can't fork into a stat or an ability.
But then using a stat is like pointless.
Well, you have to do it for a maneuver, though, is the issue, right? You can't maneuver with something else, is the idea. So you don't really get a choice.
Okay, but I get +2 because I have a bow.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sucks.
Wow, you rolled a lot of dice and did not get very well.
Wow,
yeah, so basically each of us have the option to either do impede or gain position. So impede, -1 die disadvantage to your opponent's next action. Gain position, +2 die advantage to your team's next action. I think they're going to do the gain position.
Me too.
Yeah, makes sense. So sounds great.
So that turn was a wash.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically just like trying to maneuver and figure out like the best spots to attack from.
Well, I mean, we both get +2, right? That's how that works.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we'll go and flip. They're
Or
attacking.
wait, don't we get a free success for being a higher might or something?
Was it on maneuver? Did it say?
I thought it was just generally. But you just always got an extra success for having higher might, or is it only for like killing people?
Let me check.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. I don't think he wants to. Well, I guess you could disarm somebody if he gets 3.
+1 success per point of might greater than your opponent's for all successful or tied actions in kill, capture, and drive off conflicts. So yeah.
What is that? Is it kind of successful if it's an independent roll against a 0?
Mhm.
Okay.
Guess there's no failure, right? There's no failure.
So you could
What does
just-
disarming do? I lost the thing.
They don't have a weapon.
Oh,
They have to use their hands, I guess, which I don't know what that means, but
I cut their hands off.
or they,
I actually disarmed them.
They have weapons, so it would basically be they'd have to use whatever secondary mode of attacking they have.
which I think that just means they don't get whatever weapon bonuses they have, right? Doesn't really do anything
Yeah.
else.
Pretty much.
So it might actually just be better to give 2 dice to the person.
Or wait, they don't have anything else but a weapon listed here. How does that work?
So if it's 3, then can I do 1 and 2? Give them a -1 and us a +2?
I don't.
You spend your margin
know.
of success on 1 or more effects.
Yeah,
so
1 or
you
more.
can't use the
Yeah.
same effect
Yeah,
twice.
I'll do 1 and 2. So they only
Okay,
get +1,
yeah.
and then you get +2.
That's simpler anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, then we don't
And
have
I
to
assume
figure
you're
out the
attacking
dis-
Oscalad on the flip there. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
crap.
just you and this dude just like wailing on each
Yeah.
other, right?
Yeah, let's go.
That'd be unfortunate.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and roll. He's rolling 5 dice. So you got 3 successes.
Wait, I thought he rolled his nature.
Yep.
Which is 3.
Yeah, but they got the maneuver, right?
+2.
Yeah, but then he got a -1.
Oh yes, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot that he did it. I'll just roll again.
Okay. He'll probably get more now.
You got 2.
Oh, thank goodness. All right.
Yeah, an attack versus attack is just independent. So
Right. Can I use a trait? I mean, I'm not actively defending somebody literally, but I'm defending them figuratively.
yeah, that makes sense to me.
Cool.
Go ahead and mark that you've used that there, and you
I
get
don't know
plus
how
one
to add modifier. Do I click roll first and then nope, that's not how you do it. How do
you
you,
can
add
just roll a
modifiers?
d6. That's fine. There's a whole big checklist there that you should be able to.
Oh, I see. All right. I'm gonna use a trait for self. Oh, it's decreasing the thing for wearing a backpack. I don't know how to tell them not doing that.
Did it do it that time too?
Well, it just says active modifier wearing backpack.
Yeah, it's not actually doing that.
But it doesn't do
so,
anything?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
I didn't spend persona. That's why.
I don't know why it does that.
2. All right.
This does mean, by the way, that he did 2 damage to you, which means it takes you out after this.
Okay. Also,
'Cause these are just independent tests that are happening simultaneously.
right. Also, the wearing a backpack is -1 success, which is why it's not actually reducing dice, I think. But if it might actually decrease my success result. So
It
it's
did
like-
not.
Well, I mean, I haven't rolled yet.
Well, the one
Oh,
you
you
just
mean on
rolled.
that?
Yeah.
Oh,
it did.
yeah, you're right.
You
it did.
you got 2 sixes and
There you go.
nice.
Thanks. All right. How do I mark off a trait? There it is.
yeah, there's a little bubble
beneficial
next to it.
uses defender. There we go. Cool. And then I die. Right. That's how that works.
Yeah, and he does too. Let me double check that.
Great.
You're just wailing on each other, just like, ugh. And again, this doesn't necessarily mean that you get injured in any sense
Yeah.
necessarily. It's just you get knocked unconscious or whatever, or knocked to the side. Let's see. Taking hits. The conflict captain distributes the overflow damage to another teammate until it has all been parceled out. Does the shield only do the like plus dice to defend actions? That's its only thing.
I mean, you can use
Or
it
is it
to
armor?
absorb armor, but like as armor, but then it breaks. So I
It
don't wanna do
automatically
that.
breaks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So you can just choose not to do that. So you did 4. So you take down the guy in front of you, right? And then
Woo.
you can choose to take down the guy behind him too, because he only has 2 as well, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So the 2 of them probably you're just like Actually, you describe this for me, David. What is this section?
Oh, yeah. I guess I drop all my stuff, grab my shield, and then like ram my spear through both of them. And they're obviously zombies, so they don't stay dead.
Right.
And then like it gets stuck, and then the other zombie just punches me in the face.
Right. But then they like try to like and then they just
they're like stuck to each other.
Yeah. Cool. All right, cool. And then the last thing is defend and maneuver. So yeah, they're attempting to maneuver. And you're defending, Connor.
So
So
versus defending.
it's a versus, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Wait, if we get health back, can I get the health and not be
yeah,
dead?
that you would be the only person who could get the health, right?
That makes sense, yeah.
Or not, maybe it can go to someone else. I don't know. I'm actually not sure how that works, but
Yeah, I suppose he would just allocate it.
yeah. All right, cool. So maneuver versus defend.
And what skill was I rolling with that again?
You're rolling will.
Oh,
Plus-
right. That's
plus
why.
any applicable skills.
No.
Did this give me a free
I
success?
lied. You don't get applicable skills.
This didn't give me a free success for being a might over, by the way. So it's actually 5 damage.
Say again.
This didn't give me a free success for being 1 might over, so it's actually 5
Oh, perfect.
damage.
Okay, I'll give this guy 1 damage there.
So it hurts his hand when he punches me.
Oh, this is what it says. It says unarmed characters suffer -1 dice to all actions. That's the description it gives.
Oh, so it's actually pretty good. And they also don't get their weapon bonuses, obviously.
Right, exactly.
Kill.
All right. So I'm just trying to figure out what happens when you're doing the verses here, right? Like I assume it's just taking away successes.
Yeah, well, because you do things based on the margins. So if you don't
both
get
for
any
both of them. Yeah,
margins-
that's true. Okay.
Yeah, because the defend, heals, and maneuver gives you options.
Yep. Okay. Do you get you get 1 dice, Kagan, for maneuver for halberd, so you can add that as an extra. And then he's just rolling his nature. So your ob is 1.
Yeah, you got this, Connor.
Bring me back to life. Serenade me.
Okay, well, I don't think anything happens then.
So I mean, he tied, which means that +1 success doesn't. Oh wait, it breaks ties, right?
That's true. Technically, Connor, if you had a trait that could break a tie here,
But do we
you
automatically
could
break
use it
for being
for being
the
what?
higher might? The higher might.
Oh yes, yeah. You're right. Cool. Yeah. So I think that means
that's actually a lot better than I thought it was.
1 hit point back then, right?
I think so.
Add the margin of success to your hit points using the procedure described below. The hit points of the acting character are restored first. Right? After their own hit points are restored to their starting total, they may allocate remaining hit points to a teammate. Once a teammate's hit points are restored to their starting total, if there is margin of success remaining, they can restore another teammate. Okay, so that has to be restored. It can't be added.
Yeah.
That
makes sense. Otherwise, you could end up with more.
Yeah, that
fights
makes
would never end.
it doesn't make any sense. So Oscalad, you have 1 hit point now, right? You're the only one who can have it be allocated. Do you want to describe this for us, Kagan? Right. So the Draugr is trying to get behind. Like you're probably standing in front of Eldred, right? Because you're trying to defend her as she's shooting her arrows. Go ahead and describe that for us, because you also in some ways help defend Oscalad from being
Yeah, you're probably the reason that I don't die.
Yeah.
And you ended up just getting punched, right?
Well, so
Yeah.
I was out, but because of defending heals people, you healed me back to having HP. So basically, you kept whatever happened from actually taking me out.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I'm just using my what is it called?
Halberd.
Well, but it's not the half moon glaive. Is that?
Yeah, that's the actual name.
Yeah, half moon glaive. Just holding it like this and just
Shoving the Draugr
pushing,
back.
shoving the Draugrs away while Jared's character Eldred is shooting. And then I think when Osglad gets punched, I think I just like step in the way and probably just like, I mean, I guess I don't really like hit them with my weapon because I literally am. Huh?
You probably like, pushing him back or something. It doesn't have to be like a.
Yeah, you are doing a drive off conflict here, right? You're not actually trying to kill him.
Right.
Yeah. That's probably, I just push him away and get in between you and him while you're able to stand back up.
Yeah.
Before he eats you on the ground.
That wasn't actually disarmed.
right. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and then
save. When do you get your full moon glaive?
That's level 10.
Oh crap.
He was kidding. There's not a full moon.
Yeah,
I know. Cool. And then so we would go back to the beginning, right? Because the turn order has gone through, and they only have 1 hit point left. But the thing is, if you guys can regain your last hit point, then you don't owe them a compromise, right? That's how it works, right? If your disposition has been taken down at all, then you owe them some sort of compromise.
Right.
So that's something you might want to consider.
We're also kind of scared of them.
Script these.
All right. Boop. Boop. And you guys want to just stick with what we did last time?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be able to contribute much else, so yeah, I might as well.
That's if you defend against.
I feel like Fergus at level 1.
Mm-hmm.
So if we defend first, I get extra dice from my shield and stuff, and then we can get our health back, and then we can try and finish. So like he said, we don't have a.
Do we have to allocate the actions equally, or can one person take 2 actions?
Everyone has to have an action, unless there are 2 people in the conflict, right?
Gotcha.
Then 2 people can, and the rule is basically no one can act in a row, unless you're the only person fighting.
So here's my pitch.
So do we want to have Connor do maneuver, then you do defend, and then I'll attack?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure. Okay, well, if what I have is different, that's what we're doing. I'm pretty sure that's the order I put it in. Maneuver should be first.
Oh, I just deleted them, and
Oh, okay.
You said maneuver, defend,
Attack.
Okay. Sounds good. Very good. All right. So first one's
switching all of his things up.
No, I'm not. Another maneuver versus maneuver.
Right. This one's you, Kyn's.
You get dice for maneuvering, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he has a good will.
Yeah.
All right, they got 2 successes.
I mean,
And I'm still just rolling will, correct?
Yep. Still
So
rolling.
You get +1 because of your glaive thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And another +1 because we have a higher threat level.
Well, it's not a +1 dice. It's
I just remember that they should have been helping each other with their nature, but oh well.
I don't even know.
Well, they're all taking actions, right? You can't help and take an action, can you?
Maybe not. I don't know.
That would be strange. I assume help is like if there's 4 people you can help.
Connor with my nature. What now?
Okay. I assume like if there were 4 of them, the one that doesn't get an action could help or something, right? I would be surprised if you could just do both.
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
But there wouldn't be anything for a 4th person to do other than help. So I'm suspecting
that might be the case. Yeah.
So I'm getting a +1 success for using my half.
Yeah, don't worry. No, you get a +1 dice with the glaive, and then because we are a higher might, if you tie or succeed, it counts as one more success than what you actually got.
Yeah.
But don't worry about that for now. Just 1 dice for your glaive.
Okay. And then
The success
I
tag
just
gets it.
pop in any of the options, like enchanted item effect. Like that would just be me adding.
Yeah, like if you use the
plus 1
tray,
die.
you would click it
Yeah.
and it would do a thing for you. Yeah.
Anyone can help. Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
why wouldn't we
for any
always
roll?
always help everybody?
Well, you might not have the relevant thing, but
Oh,
So should we just play
that's
without that
odd.
roll
so,
for
so
this
this,
battle?
so this what this what it says. It says characters, apprentices, companions, and minions may help if they have the ability or skill listed for the current action. The game master can also approve another relevant skill to be used to help. Help grants +1 die to the player who's rolling for this action. One can help even if one hasn't been assigned an action, so it's assuming that you can if you have,
Mhm.
right? One cannot help if
Right.
one is knocked out of the conflict. So I should have been rolling for their combined efforts the whole time, but it's fine.
So
So you can help and take an action.
even with an ability, it said, which means you would literally never not be able to help, right?
Yep.
Unless you just didn't have a skill, I guess.
Unless you had no reasonable way to say in the narrative I'm helping or whatever for whatever reason.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll help you with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
'Cause I have will.
I have will as
Yep.
well.
This means that because if we had been doing this, those damage rolls, like we could have one-shotted them, they could have one-shotted us. Like that's pretty crazy.
Well, do we want to decide that we are not doing that, or
I guess we did do half of it not doing that. Do you want to just finish it not doing that?
Sure. Let's do that for consistency's sake, and then
Yeah.
we'll get rid of that for next time. Because then the dice is even on either side, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead and roll your will then, Kagan. And you get a +1 die for your glaive.
Yep.
So that attack roll would have
Okay,
just
so that's
killed
just 6.
both teams instantly, right?
I mean, it could have. Like if we had 2 more dice, theoretically, because I got 5 successes, not 4.
Yeah.
Theoretically, if they'd both been successes, they would have died instantly. If they had 2 more dice, they couldn't have killed us because we had 5 health, but they could have taken us to 1.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to disarm this guy, Connor, with your 3 successes? You can either impede.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, disarming gives them -1 dice to everything, and they lose their weapon bonuses. So,
Are we allowed to move whenever we want?
which I actually should have been giving them weapon bonuses too, but I forgot. Oh well,
Oh,
it's fine. We're learning the system, so it.
Yeah,
yeah. And yeah, I don't think it matters where you're standing, Jared. It's all.
it does matter.
No, I mean, I think it's all narrative. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think you have to
Yeah.
move, right?
No, you don't.
I yelled to what's his, I can't remember the character. There we go.
Oscalad or
For God, one of you block the door. Lead him to the blades.
Well, you just did a maneuver, right? So you can maneuver to the thing, poke them that way. If you want.
Okay, so that's just like a. Am I rolling for that? Is that just like a narrative thing that I do?
You already
position
did it
seems
with
to
the
be-
3 successes, right?
Oh, okay. So that's what I'm doing by maneuvering.
Mhm.
Okay.
And you basically
Yeah, sure.
you're choosing your margin of success to either be you can up to 3, right? Your options are impede, help, or whatever it's called, and disarm. And it costs
Okay.
a certain amount of. So if you want to disarm him, you can spend 3 of it. If you want to help and impede, you can do that.
Technically, you
spend
have
3.
4, right? We get +1 success.
Oh yes, that's true. Yeah, 4.
So you can actually disarm him and impede him.
You want to do that?
Sure.
That makes
which means
sense.
He basically implodes.
Well, the next thing he does is whoop, I just took the card instead of.
He just vanishes into thin
Gabe
air.
had to quickly change his maneuver real quick.
No, I accidentally took it instead of flipping it. He's gonna attack. It's gonna fail miserably because
gonna be
he's
pretty difficult,
disarmed and there's a might
He
differential.
punches my shield.
So yes,
There we go.
2d6, and then he's rolling 1d6 is what he's rolling
Oof.
because of your minuses.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's
Hey, you
rough.
got a 6 though. Yeah, so you're defending then, Oscalad. So go ahead and roll, and this is against
Yeah.
his one. So
Gear supplies. I get 2 from the shield. Wait, no, we're not in a narrow corridor, are we?
nope.
Okay. I technically would get 3 then because I get 1 from the shield.
Hmm.
Or I mean the spear too. But so I don't get any help from anything else.
Noise.
So I get
So full hit points.
3. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Yep. Everybody's back up to full.
Oh yeah.
And the next thing is going to be they're doing another maneuver. So
Maneuver and attack
it's probably not gonna
is
stay independent, right? Or is it versus?
Apparently, yeah.
Okay. All right. He's rolling 2d6 and gets 2 successes. So go ahead and roll attack,
Shoot
Eldred.
him in the face.
So do I get anything extra for having a bow for this? Or no?
Not for attack, I don't think. No.
Okay.
They don't have armor, do they?
They do not. Sorry, they have shields. But
it doesn't matter now.
They haven't done defend actions, so
Right, yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Fork and Hunter. Does archery wise do anything here?
no, you
No,
can. I mean,
'cause
you
they're
can't
not
give yourself a
forced, yeah.
bonus, right? You have to spend Artha to do those sorts of things.
Gotcha.
You could give someone
I-
else a tip on archery, but
I use my nature to enchant this arrow.
I see what you did there. Give him a tip.
Right? Can I do that? I roll nature to use enchanting.
you can do nature stuff, but I don't think you can do it without persona or whatever. Let me look.
I think nature just kind of replaces stuff. Like if you want to run as a human, you can roll your nature.
You can also channel your nature.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
What is
I
your?
just thought nature was kind of like hatred from
Yeah.
4.
Do you have an enchanting nature?
Yeah.
That's cool. Does that mean like
you have to spend a persona?
Look at me, I'm
add it.
attractive, or is it like now
No,
you
it's
do more damage?
It's like magic items and stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. That's a pretty ridiculous.
It was
thing.
either that or like dancing, magic dancing,
Yep.
and we all know where I'd take that.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Yeah. So you have to spend a persona to do that, Eldred.
Gotcha.
So yeah, go ahead and make that roll.
But you only need to get 2 successes to kill him. So,
Yeah.
which
Well-
is not what you did.
Okay, yeah, I guess he gets his extra margin of success and chooses the impede action.
I use calm, my calm trait, to get an extra dice.
You can't get an extra
can't do it
die
retroactively,
now.
I don't
You could
think.
break
It
the
also
tie, but it doesn't help because
Okay.
it's not a tie, right?
I thought that was a wise.
No. So with traits, you can give yourself a die,
Mhm.
break tie, like give yourself a success by breaking tie or whatever. But you can't give yourself a die after the roll has been made, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I
Alright,
mean,
again, I guess.
I think for simplicity's sake, he's just going to do attack.
Unfortunately, there isn't a way to do that without being hurt. Or I mean, counter that without being hurt. Which is a bummer.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
I have no idea.
I mean, we should just attack him and kill him. The problem, otherwise, like ideally, we would just defend because we can stay at full health. But if he just keeps doing that, then it'll never end. So it's like we kind of just need to attack him, and hope that we kill him and he doesn't.
Because none of the defend actions like
There's no counter
make it so he
attacks.
can't attack.
No.
No.
Maneuver,
If
you
you-
can do stuff like that, right? Like with impeding and disarming and stuff.
We could do. Wait, what does feint do?
Feint is only good if they're defending, which I didn't suspect zombies would do very much. I mean, so okay, here's our option. What we could do is maneuver, which is versus against attack, and then give him an impede so that he's less likely to succeed because we can't like directly keep him from doing it. And then we can attack him. I mean, we shouldn't really decide based on knowing that he's doing all attacks because that's cheating.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I was thinking we should just attack him and try and kill him. So we should just do that.
He has 1 hit point, so
yeah.
Sure.
And it's
Or
also 11, 12.
2, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Attack.
All right, so here's what we'll do. We'll attack him. Once he's dead, we'll defend, get HP back, and then we'll end it.
No. Who's actually going to be taking that action, the attack action?
I mean, probably David would be the best.
Yeah, I can do it.
How many dice do you have to attack?
I mean, I only get 3 technically from fighter, but so I guess
Don't you
technically
get
you're
one for
better at it.
Don't you get one for your weapon?
Not for attacks. I'm good at maneuvering and defending with my weapon in corridors with defense, but
He only got 1
so
success.
technically you're better at the attack, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll take damage, but all you gotta do is not roll horribly. You just have to get a 1.
Well, 2, but yeah. He has 2 hit points.
He does?
Yeah, I said 1, but I corrected myself.
Oh, I got a
Or didn't
one.
he take damage? Didn't they all have? Oh no, because they had 7.
Oh, dang it. We didn't take into account last time. No. Last time I would have gotten an extra success because of our.
No, so you only get the extra success if you tie or succeed. If you fail, it doesn't like increase it. Which
Oh,
is
so actually you get an extra
irrelevant.
success here, and
Yeah.
he dies. So,
Gotcha.
But we also take 1 damage. So
yeah.
we
So
don't-
you have a minor compromise, right? So I'll go ahead and pull that up. And now that we kind of have figured out how all that works, it'll be way smoother when we do it the second time.
Yeah.
But I figure we'd have to kind of stumble through it. All right, so you successfully did it. You owe a minor compromise. Let's see.
They kill David.
I think I'll just say the only thing that happens, right? So you drive them off, right? You weren't trying to kill them; you're trying to drive them off. They rush up the top hallway up here, right? They managed to rush past. Again, this is all narrative. They you don't get to decide where they run off to necessarily, right? You can't. I know you were trying to navigate them into the blades, but you can't do that. You're trying to drive them off, not kill them. And so, like, kill conflict, that definitely could have been the end of that, right? As you run them into the blades. But they rush past Kagan. And I think in the scuffle, though, they knocked over Oscalad's lantern and broke it. So you didn't break the lantern, but they, put out the oil went everywhere, and you have to relight it with a flask.
Okay.
But that's the only like bad thing that happened, I think, from that is lantern gets knocked over, and they rush off to the north. Cool. So yeah, no one gets injured or anything or takes conditions. But at the end of that, right, the grind advances, and everybody takes one of the conditions. I need to check
Hungry again.
which
right?
I think it's that one. There's a different order that they go in, except than the order that's on your sheet. So
No.
yes, hungry and thirsty is the first one. Yep. So
I
everybody marks
eat and
that again.
drink.
And you do have a moment
Man,
of
we're just getting so hungry so quick. What's going on?
you do have a moment of silence here, right? Nothing immediately happens. You can take a moment and eat and drink again. So if you have the resources to do that, you may do so and unmark it again. But yeah, so the assumption is you'll have to relight the lantern and then continue on from there. But we'll probably go ahead and pick that up next time. We are at the end of our time today. But yeah, you have the 3 corridors to enter to continue on through the dungeon. We will continue on next time. Let's go ahead and do beliefs and instincts and Nartha and stuff. It should be much quicker than Brennywell usually is because there's only a couple of handful of things to do there. But we'll do that and call it a day. Okay, so acting on your belief. When a character stands up and takes action in a manner driven by their belief, they earn 1 fate point. Has anyone done that today?
Oh, what was that? It was for the what? Which one?
Acting on your belief. So when you stand up and take action in a manner driven by your belief, you earn 1 fate point.
I'll do whatever it takes to be reunited with my people. I wasted our time looking at the thing.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. You were the one who instigated that. That makes sense. I'm down with that.
Is that a fate?
That is a fate. Yep.
Woo.
The rest of that thing says this action can manifest in a test, a good idea, or even an instance of strong roleplay. The important distinction is the character risks themselves to fight for what they believe. So, what about the rest of you?
I don't think so.
My belief was find out how the world is going to end. I didn't.
It was a Kagan light episode because we got into a fight right away, and Kagan was like, "I'll just kind of hold them back." Yeah.
Yep. And because I was in the fight, I didn't get a look at those papers.
Yes. You'll be able to do that next time.
Instinct, always use my mirror to peek into the room before entering.
I'm double checking. I don't think you actually earn fate for instincts in this one. Because
use an instinct to aid the group and earn a fate point.
Yes, benefiting from your instinct is the thing that gives you a point.
It's technically just always helpful to peek into the room, but it didn't necessarily
give you any particular help.
Yeah.
They weren't already animated or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Do you always get pass-fail experience for fighter tests in combat? How's that work?
Oh, yes. For combat, I believe you just list one.
See how that works.
Yeah.
Burning Wheel is that way.
Mm-hmm. I think in Burning Wheel it's like the highest, but I think it's different.
Maybe
in
you do
this
like one pass, one fail, and then
it's
I didn't fail any.
Something like that.
Here we go. What about will as well? Do we get tests for will?
Does it have bubbles there? Yeah. So it should be able to be advanced. I think you only mark one thing for the whole fight though. I'm just trying to find what it is. Let's see. I can't find it. I'll look it up in between sessions and make sure you guys get your test. Okay. Did anyone work toward their goal or accomplish it?
I accomplished mine.
Yep. So Persona.
Yeah, I accomplished mine as well.
Okay, Persona. Kagan.
I said get an inkling about what I saw when in. So I technically we did on the murals.
I think you worked towards it, right? So
Okay.
you can get a fate there.
Okay.
But then usually what that means for goals in this one is you want to rewrite it for next time because you didn't manage to complete it. So you reevaluate and be like, make sure you write it so that you can actually complete it in the next session. I don't think that's as relevant here. Like you can keep it the way you want if you like, but
okay.
Typically the idea is like if you wrote a goal and you only earned a fate for it, you want to reevaluate and try to make it so you can do it in one session. All right, cool.
My instinct helped Connor get a fate. Does my instinct get me a fate?
What was your instinct?
To always try and find things related to my heritage.
I don't think it's quite significant enough.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do I get a fate for my instinct being the reason we came?
What was your instinct again?
Never let a wound fester.
Right.
Which was my justification for.
I don't think so. No.
Okay. All right.
And then the last one is gallows humor. If a character offers a grim assessment of their fate while staring down certain death, they are rewarded 1 fate point. This is basically the humor, but for Torchbearer. I don't think anyone joked this time, really. Not in that way, at least.
No, not too much.
Is this in character or just like in general?
In character. Yep.
Okay.
If a character acts against their belief in a dramatic fashion, we haven't done that yet. So,
cool.
Player who made the most critical roll of the session earns the MVP persona point. Who made the most critical roll of the session, do you think?
Did a bunch of damage.
Yeah, maybe David from damage.
That's true. Yeah, he was a bruiser in the fight. Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Sure. Yeah, you can take a persona there. And then there's team worker, a player who worked the hardest to keep the group together and in good shape, earns 1 persona point for their effort. This reward goes to the ones who help despite the risks, who spend all of their gear for their mates and sacrifice their goals for their companions.
Eldred spent all his money on a donkey.
Yeah, I spent all my money on a donkey.
That is
unlike
true.
somebody.
That is
Connor.
true. That is true. Yeah.
Connor needs to lose a fate.
No. So, but Eldred, you can get a persona.
Persona. Okay.
Yep. So one last note before we end, to level up in this game, you spend Artha, right? So you need to level up to level 2, you spend 3 fate point and 3 persona points.
Oh,
so
interesting.
yeah, you don't. It's not when you earn them that you get that thing, but you spend them. So
you're actually experiencing that.
Yeah.
Wait. Sorry. When you say spend them, do you mean like I spend this on leveling up, or like I
spend them on leveling up? Or no, sorry. I spend them on rolls. Sorry.
Okay.
Can you get
kind
persona
of like
during gameplay, or is that just afterwards?
No, it's just afterwards. Yeah, we always evaluate at the end. So, and you only level up when you go back to town. So, yeah. So it's kind of like earning an epiphany or whatever, right? You're like spending them by.
And how do you earn fate during play?
Working on a belief, having an instinct be beneficial, gallows humor, or acting on your belief. Sorry, working towards a goal is what I meant to say, not working on a belief. So yeah, acting on a belief,
as usual,
beneficial instinct,
at finishing
working
goals.
towards your goal, gallows humor is fate point stuff. So, okie dokie. So we will return next time with another session of Laughing Shall We Die. And yeah, thanks for playing, guys. A little rough to begin here, obviously, because we're still learning all the system stuff. But
we're dum-dums.
It's all right. I think I have a much better understanding of that conflict system now that we've done the one there. So I'm actually glad that I didn't roll their full nature or whatever that I could have, because I could have been bad for you guys. So
yeah.
Okie dokie. We are out. Adios.
Bye.